And we are live once again on the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. Chris Daughtry behind the scenes for today's show. It is a little bit different today. We are going live earlier than what we normally do, a 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time setup here. We are going to have a little bit of a different show today. The Chat Sports crew, with all the different live streams going on right now, are going to do a 3-round mock draft. So we'll have all the different hosts making these selections for their respective teams. The handful of teams that don't have hosts, don't have channels for yet, will be simmed. So, you'll see Mitch will make the Raiders pick. We'll sim the Jags pick. We have no Jags host. I assume that's Mason Graham, but it also adds an element of chaos of like, oh, the simulator went rogue. So we'll be live here with that mock draft starting in about 13 minutes here. Titans go on the clock. Our Titans Today host, Albert, will handle that one. I am excited to see how that plays out. That one's obviously going to be Cam Ward. We will react to all the picks as they come in, and then I will make the picks for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, we're just going 3 rounds here, so we'll go round 1, we'll go round 2, and we'll go round 3. Again, I am excited to see how things play out in this mock draft sim. A couple things we're doing. It's maybe a more realistic sim where it's not quite as chaotic, and those hosts in theory should have a pretty good feel for what those teams will do. The thing I am most concerned about is what happens if T-Mac goes 9 to the Saints? If Trace takes him, do I go with what I think the Cowboys do, which I think is Matthew Golden, or what I would do? I haven't made up my mind yet, so I'll consider that one for the time being. But it's going to be Tennessee, Cleveland, Giants, Patriots, all the way through round 1, all the way to round 3. And then we will react to all the picks as they come in. We'll just give brief synopsis. The clock is a minute long, so we don't have a lot of time to think. So I got to I got to go once we're on the clock there. So who do you want to draft in round 1? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. Feel free to suggest your round 1 selections. Got plenty of options on that front. I would assume the draft is going to go with Cam Ward 1, Hunter 2, Abdul Carter 3, Campbell at 4. I'm pretty sure Ali's going to take Campbell there. It's a sim pick for the Jags. I would think that ends up being Mason Graham. I would assume Genty goes 6. 7 is the Jets. I think we have somebody picking for that one. All right, let me double check here. No, Seeps is not doing that one because Seeps is out of town. So it's going to be Jets are going to be simmed. So you got sim picks at 5, 7, and 8 with the potential for unknown chaos there. So who do you want to draft in round 1? Let me know in the comments. By the way, no trades. There's not enough time because the trade coverage would have taken so long to between the hosts. It's just the goal is to not have this be a 12-hour show. It's to have more of a normal time show slot there. Jorge A. Doubt T-Mac is there at 12. I think it's at least 50-50. I actually think that's at least the case there. He also says Will Johnson, Jaden Higgins, RJ Harvey, 1, 2, 3. I am not as high on Jaden Higgins. I know people are, and I understand that. But Will Johnson in round 1, then you do need to go get your receiver probably in round 2. But that could be Jalen Knowles an option, Jaden Higgins is an option, Elike Omenor for me is an option. You're not going to get Burden or Ibuka to fall that far. And Jack Besh is maybe a little bit early for round 2, but I know that he has fans out there. So if you don't go receiver in round 1, then I think you're kind of almost pigeonholed into hey, we got to take one at 2 in round 2, or it's kind of dicey in terms of getting a real number 2 that is going to be better than Jalen Tolbert is the goal, and gets kind of dicey in the 3rd. Also, shout out to Rob who's saying get my kicker early. We have a kicker, thankfully. I every Sunday, last thing I do is I do my kickers. I spend time evaluating all the kickers, 2 hours worth of just I just go purely based on the stats. Are they good or not? It's not hard, by the way. I don't think I've ever missed a kicker or a punter. I think my history is actually very good because it's just were they good from 40 plus? Yes, they'll be fine in the NFL. No, they'll be bad in the NFL. So Although I thought K. Dork was pretty good, so I guess that's absolutely fake news. All right, today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier, even for those hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app actually goes down the closer it gets to tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. Get up to 60% off when you buy those last-minute tickets, not just for sports, since maybe the Mavs will be able to make a little playoffs appearance this year. That's up for grabs. But Stars, obviously, but also Rangers, too. When you buy last-minute tickets, up to 60% off for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and everything else in between. The Game Time guarantee is this. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today, create your account, and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. That's CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, all guaranteed. Terms do apply. But what is your confidence level here in the Dallas Cowboys as drafters? Actual Cowboys, not me when we do this mock draft coming up here in about 8 minutes. Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Let me know your confidence level in the Dallas Cowboys as drafters. 1 to 10. And we'll give some shout-outs here after this super chat from Mike McCain. Wide receiver 12, because not at premium, running back is. Because not a premium is running back. That, I agree. It's also a deep backfield class, which is, there's several things I'm like, hey, how does this play out? Like, I am very curious, where do the running backs go in this? Because, like, do they go earlier than what people expect? Do they go a little bit later in this upcoming mock draft sim here? Like, not sim, but live, I should say. Like, what does Harrison do at 10 if Genty's off the board? I'm not going to take a Marion Hampton. I'm not doing that. I'm kind of locked in on receiver, more or less. We'll see if maybe someone will fall. Who knows? Like, where do the other backs go? I don't think that Travion Henderson is going to get down to me at number 44. And if he's not there, I'm not sure I'm going to take running back. Then I got like a long list of like defensive guys that I'm really intrigued by. Maybe Judkins and Johnson too. But I do think like it is easier to build a mock draft we all like if you go receiver than back. So appreciate that, Mike. Thank you very much. Let's see. We got DeLunatic coming in here. I mean, go to the photo because I'm about to do it. I'm gonna go to that. So I'm gonna try to cause chaos in this. There is a group Slack message of everyone where the picks will come in. I'm about to put this photo in there, which is the Gronk photo. It even says Gronk right there in the little corner of Travis Hunter with the beer bong. And the message is, hey, he can't go top 11 now in the sim. So I'm going to try to interject some Laramie Tunsil chaos here by spreading misinformation on Travis Hunter in this. So we'll see what the reaction is there. The Lunatics says trade down for Ibuka. Hashtag they're DC for life. Hashtag I'll say puck filthy, so I don't get in trouble with anything there. Better not be an actual Cowboys signing. I'm going to be pissed. Are you serious? Okay, well. Cowboys have signed Hakeem Adeniji, so that's not. I'm going to delete that other message. This is the worst timing ever. I have no idea what to do here. It's okay, I guess. Can you update the L3 and build a custom L3 with just the signing news, Chris? So this was going to be on our show. Later on, we were going to do the normal news cut. Hakeem Adeniji is signing with the Dallas Cowboys. That is a to-be-determined contract here. That is Hakeem Adeniji, who has played a bunch of games as a backup offensive lineman. It is another lineman the Dallas Cowboys are signing. So let me update the live show. They can never make things easy on me. They simply can never make things easy on me. So Hakeem Adeniji is heading to the Dallas Cowboys. He had worked out yesterday. This is a guy that can play almost really every spot on the offensive line except center. The Cowboys continuing to add offensive line depth pretty much across the board in terms of adding some impact here and I think depth. And I don't know if he makes the roster. I think this is another, maybe somebody makes the roster, maybe somebody doesn't in the end. But Hakeem Adeniji is signing with the Dallas Cowboys. So, okay, let me do this then. Chris, build this out. Change the script as you go along for the post cut. I'll add some stuff in there. We'll go behind the scenes. I'll just do a quick short on this, and I'll upload that. And then we'll just stick with the rest of the mock draft setup, and we'll just get this cut out afterwards. There's no way we can do anything else. Unless we want to delay the entire mock draft, which doesn't make any sense for anybody else. So, all right, I'm going to do this. It's exciting, so what else are you going to do here? So you're going to see me take the phone up here and put it right in front of me, and we'll see if I can do it in one take or not either. So let me get this set up here, and we'll get that built out. I think just like next time, just an L3, not player L3 is the way to go about things there. So but you'll get some behind-the-scenes background stuff as I get this set up here. This is not a huge signing. This is I have doubts if he is going to end up making the Cowboys roster or not. So we'll bring producer Chris on here too a little bit in just a second, but I'm gonna we'll put this up on shorts as socials because the timing is just terrible for the Dallas Cowboys team. So they have signed Hakeem Adeniji. Give me a minute. We'll do this. Then the picks will come in, and I'll be trying to simultaneously post this on social media and then get other stuff out as well. So let's. This is just literally the worst possible timing in the end. So let's do this one first here. Let's get the camera turned around properly. Dallas Cowboys news to break down. Hakeem Adeniji. 0 for 1. L's in the comments. Hakeem Adeniji. I have the pronunciation too. It's brutal. Dallas Cowboys news to break down. Hakeem Adeniji, the offensive lineman, is signing with the Dallas Cowboys. No contract details as of right now. This will be a one-year deal with little to no guaranteed money, and he may not end up making the 53-man roster. Adeniji did not play at all last season coming off of an injury. Cowboys adding additional depth along the offensive line with lots of competition coming there for the 9th and maybe 10th roster spot. It is just a short because it is terrible timing. We're doing our live Chat Sports mock draft today. We'll have more on this later on the channel, so make sure you guys are subscribed. Much better. Not screwing stuff up there. So, yeah, you get the nice, right in front of me doing it like that. Yeah, that might be what we have to do for the draft picks when they come in as well. So, let's go dual cam here. We'll bring on producer Chris as well. Let me do a photo here so I can I'm not even doing captions on this one. I'm just going to add a photo and go. So, Chris, give some shout-outs here so people like the video while I try to update this real quick because this is just the worst timing ever. 5 minutes before the mock draft begins. Literally any other time would have been fine.
Here we go. If you guys are ready for this mock draft to start, go ahead and like the video for us. We're 30 seconds out before the first pick comes in.
Just brutal. Just absolutely brutal. Like that video for us. Goal was always the 50% like ratio. We are close to it. We do have Jorge's super chat. If you can go to that here real quick, as they are just... Brett just messaged me and says they are 1 of 1 with terrible timing. No lies detected at all. All right, the Titans are on the clock here in this mock draft. I am not answering these questions. You have me here. He is taking Cam Ward. No surprise there. Jorge's thoughts on Scadaboo as an RB1 in round 3. I'm not as high on Scadaboo as I think like some people are, but I do like him. I do think he's a good player. I just don't know if he's going to be an option in the third round. There's a lack of juice there. But I think some point in that third round, fourth round range, someone should take him. That's about where I have him graded in the end. So Cam Ward is the pick here for the Tennessee Titans, to the surprise of absolutely nobody. Which is, I mean, that's what's going to happen in real life. Did you guys see Cam Ward on his Fortnite stream? As like, dude, Traylon Burks is a good receiver. Like, no, he's not. Who are the best running backs in the NFL? Tajay Spears, and he said somebody else. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, that's just, come on. Like, that's not at all what they're doing there. All right, let me get this one in there. Boom. Got a Cam Ward as the pick here, which means the Browns are on the clock, which is Matthew Peterson, which I think is going to be Travis Hunt, or Abdul Carter, excuse me. Or Travis Hunter. Although he did, like, a week ago predict it was going to be Abdul Carter. So let me do this. I'm still just plowing through trying to get this short up there. Chris, if you want to read some of these super chats for me as they come in.
Got a $5 super chat here from John Cena. Can't see me. He said, more likely to happen, me winning WrestleMania or Shadur being available at number 12. Diet Dr. Pepper, cheers.
Oh, it's John Cena. Sorry, I was very confused. I thought it was some random person. Well, I think Cena's going to win WrestleMania, right? Isn't he?
I don't know anything about wrestling.
I don't know. I guess Cena is more likely, but I also wouldn't be shocked if Shadur is available at 12. I don't really think that means anything for the Dallas Cowboys, frankly. I don't think that they haven't done anything in terms of like the actual top-level QBs of interest. Like they haven't done any workouts. Like, and there's no way that would have been hidden. Like it is impossible for this team to keep stuff like that under wraps. It's the Cowboys. It's too big. So I think in the end, you want the Dallas Cowboys to not even have the option of Shadur Sanders because you want to have better players available. You want to have those guys get pushed down. By the way, speaking of potential Shadur Sanders destination, Travis Hunter is the pick here in round 2. So Matthew Peterson doing that one for the Browns. Travis Hunter is the selection. I assume this means Abdul Carter is going to end up as the pick for the New York Football Giants. Although I know Marshall's also desperate for a quarterback. So I don't think we can totally rule out that as a fit. I don't think we can totally rule that out as a possibility. So, well, now he has taken, as he spelled it, Abdurrah Carter. So I would assume that means Abdul Carter, but he spelled it Abdurrah Carter on his prediction there, which is just hilarious there. So Abdul Carter goes number 3 to the Giants, which I think at this time we're kind of like on the expected path, more or less, with Abdul Carter heading to the Giants. Travis Hunter goes 2. Cam Ward goes number 1. That puts the Patriots on the clock now at pick number 4 as I try like hell to multitask on this one. I can't edit the short. It just has to be the raw dog green screen with a photo on it there. Just nothing else I could do. I'll have to get it up on Instagram somehow too. So Giants pass on Shadur. That's not terribly surprising. Who do you guys want in round 1? And then we'll get to a super chat from Rajanic as well in just a second. Who do you want to take in round 1? I certainly have my eyes on T-Mac. Any receiver would be nice. But we'll have to let that stuff play out. So Hunter, Carter off the board. I have like a hybrid big board of like, I didn't put quarterbacks and tight ends really on there. So we'll see how things play out here. Rajan, I think the Sanders at 12 report is serious. I don't know what report you're referring to because it's not serious. They're not taking Shadur at 12. Like it doesn't make any sense. If Dak had 2 years left on his contract, that could actually be a very different conversation. I could see that actually being in the cards. But he's got 4. You just restructured his contract. You've got holes everywhere. They haven't done work on Shadur Sanders. Like they haven't. It's just not going to happen. Where he goes, I have no idea. So we'll keep an eye on that one. All right, round 4, Will Campbell, is the pick here out of LSU. Again, not terribly surprising on that one. The Jags pick is coming in now, so breaking. Let me do the short here. Let me make sure I've spelled Hakeem Adeniji properly, too, on this front. To rechange everything. Let me put the hashtag Cowboys in there. Cowboys News. And hashtag shorts. There we go. Make sure the thumbnail is properly. So 4 picks are in. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and Will Campbell have been selected. Jags. Really? Well, we have our first weird one. Tyler Warren. This is the Jags pick is a sim, excuse me. Number 5 is Tyler Warren to the Jacksonville Jags. So that does leave Mason Graham on the board, which I really wasn't expecting to have as an option. I'm now curious what Mitch does at 6. I had assumed he was going to end up taking Ashton Jeanty at 6. So first kind of surprise element here. It's not Mason Graham. It's Tyler Warren. They did move on from Evan Ingram. I do think he is a good football player. He's going to be a top 10 player for me in the class. I am moderately surprised that that ended up being the pick here, though. I didn't really anticipate that one as an option. So Tyler Warren off the board here at 5. Robert Simmons, a $2 super chat. What's up, Tom? Yesterday was my birthday. Happy birthday, Robert. You want to build an L3 that just has Cowboys sign Hakeem Adeniji and just have that up there a lot, because that has happened today as well. Hakeem Adeniji is the signing for the Dallas Cowboys. That's a 1-year deal. Nothing overly shocking on that one, I guess. I'm going to have to update the scripting here. Well, I meant like the regularly planned cut that we had set up, which was going to feature heavily the signing of Hakeem Adeniji. It's just awful timing. So Ashton Jeanty is the pick here at number 6 to the Las Vegas Raiders. Harrison Graham in our group message now says, F no trades. I'm trading up for Harrison Graham. Jets might take him at 7 here. Jeanty is the pick at 6. I'm going to upload this one here. If you can give some shout-outs, Chris, for some of the picks coming in. I got to put this on Instagram as well. This is just going to take forever to do because it's just such terrible timing.
Here we go. Who you guys want? It's besides that Jags pick, everything else is pretty much gone to schedule, I think. Still got your wide receivers there. Let's see. Jonathan saying Graham. Let's see. Mike Green. So I don't see the Cowboys going edge this early.
They could take Micah Williams. I don't think they would do that, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. I've also updated the regular script there. Okay. Jets pick is in. Just got yellow highlights for stuff that needs changed. Jets pick is in. They have added Armand Membu, the offensive tackle out of Missouri. So we are now getting extremely close to the Cowboys selection. Mason Graham, who I don't think the Panthers would take at 8. Again, it's the sim. Weird stuff happens, and they did take Mason Graham. So Mason Graham is off the board here for the Cowboys, and Harrison is in shambles because the Bears, he wanted them at 8 for the Bears. Saints are on the clock here at number 8 overall. Then it's Cowboys coming up here in just a little bit. Saints on the clock here at number 9, excuse me. Saints, Bears, Niners, and Cowboys are all coming in. So let's go through our Game Time sponsor, then we'll recap all of the picks so far. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. It is the place to get last-minute tickets to your next big event. It makes getting tickets faster and even easier for those hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. You can get up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and everything else in between. Save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats with their zone deals. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, ChatSports, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, ChatSports, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today, create your account, and use that code for $20 off. Last minute tickets, lowest price, all guaranteed. So we are 8 picks into the Chat Sports Team live mock draft here. Cam Ward, QB1 off the board of the Titans. Travis Hunter goes 2. Abdul Carter goes 3rd. Will Campbell goes 4. Tyler Warren goes 5. Ashton Genty is the pick at 6. Armand Membu off the board at 7. Mason Graham at number 8. And then the team that I am most worried about taking Tedero McMillan, the Saints, are on the board here at number 9 overall. They are up here on the clock. Saints, Bears, Niners, and then our Dallas Cowboys, where I get to make the pick. We do have the ESPN vest available. My big board is just not ready yet. It'll be ready probably Sunday is my goal, but I'm not quite ready for that one yet. So the best available is as follows: Walker, Will Johnson, Jihad Campbell. I think it's way too high on Walter Nolan. I am not a big Walter Nolan believer, for lack of a better terminology there. I have issues with his overall game, so I'm going to update the depth chart here too for the offensive line. I mean, they're 15 deep now on the offensive line. Wonder if that means they're going to draft me, because they got like 5 undrafted picks, or 5 roster spots left beyond their draft picks. It's very unusual for the Cowboys. So Mike Hill's at 5. There's my guy T-Mac at 6. Josh Simmons, Colston Loveland. There, Malachi Starks, Mike Green. Looks like Trace is taking Shadur Sanders. So the Saints are he's a big Shadur guy, but it's also Trace. Like, he just gets caught up in any movement ever. So Shadur Sanders is the pick here in round 1, pick number 9, which I'm not too surprised. By the way, I think his framing was terrible in the second. It was N-O: Shadurlins, which almost reads like no Shadurlins, whatever. So the Bears are on the clock here at number 10. No Tyler Warren, no Mason Graham. This is kind of a nightmare scenario for Chicago. I wonder if he's going to go edge. Because I don't think they're going to take a receiver with DJ Moore and everything. I would bet you that Chase is going to take Mike Green. That'd be my guess if he doesn't get past this pick. That worked out bad for Harrison. Genty's gone, Warren's gone, and everyone else is gone. So I am, because I've talked to him about, like, if Genty is gone, what's the pick? And he said it'd probably be Tyler Warren. But now Tyler Warren's gone. The tackles are gone. I think he's going to pivot to an edge, I think. But I'm not certain what Harrison is going to end up doing there. You guys feel free to predict in the comments. I find this fun of, like, maybe Mike Green, maybe Mike Green, maybe Mike Green. Harrison's typing now. So pick about to come in. He took Mike Green. So now I don't know what Chase is going to do. So Mike Green's off the board. I mean, I saw Chase put out his like preferred list not that long ago. He could go corner. Where was his big board here? I'm gonna do some research here. Apparently Chase is upset. I know he's not taking Shamar Stewart. I know that one. Where did he put it? At this point, I'm digging too far trying to find his board. Honestly, the Tyler Warren pick has kind of caused chaos for me because I don't think. Wait, it says Niners being simulated now. Is Chase not doing this one? Doesn't make any sense. I thought Chase was doing it. Oh, Chip's doing it. Okay, we got they fired the GM on the day of the draft. So straight out of draft day. So Niners. Then I am on the clock here. I think I'm going to take receiver no matter what. I'm just going to go receiver regardless of what the 49ers do. And I'll get defensive piece later and running back later, hopefully as well. So Chip is typing in the Slack here. Niners on the clock here in round 1, pick number 11. I don't know how you go from typing to not typing. Like that's obscene to me. Like, come on, bud. So Cowboys about to be on the clock here. We are awaiting the pick. It's supposed to be every minute. This is not every minute here, as far as I'm concerned. This is a little bit longer. Jalen Walker is the pick here for the 49ers. So I think you guys know who I am going to take here. I'll give everyone a second. I'll use up my minute properly, like they want me to do. But Jalen Walker off the board here for the Georgia Bulldogs. Go get the beer bongs, because we got James K coming screaming in with his super chat. $300 super chat from James K. Says, Raiders fan here. Tom, I love your draft coverage. Don't want you to take T-Mac. Take Barron and shock the world. It's a great idea. I am going to take Tedero and McMillan. I have submitted that pick. I actually do love Jahdae Barron a lot, though. And I would be very excited if Jahdae Barron was the actual pick. I just don't think it is a very likely outcome for the Cowboys. That they value their arm length too much. Barron is sub 30-inch arms. I have doubts on that one. But I want everyone to spam James in the comment section. Hot take or conspiracy theory. I think James is trying to get the receivers to fall so the Raiders get one in round 2 of this. Which, if so, I respect the hell out of it. So everyone spam James in the comments section. I'm happy to take Tedero and McMillan. You also saw kind of like what's going to happen if he's not there with how chaos could go there. So let's do some beer bongs and celebrate James. Now, of note, by the way, for this month, the most supers or most $100 super chat, I should say, in the month of April gets a DeMarvion Overshown jersey. Most hundreds in the month of April get a DeMarvion Overshown jersey. In James's case, I assume he doesn't want a Cowboys jersey. So if you win, we'll get you a different jersey. So James K has lead at 3. Let's do some beer bongs and celebrate. Will Johnson is the pick here at number 13 for the Miami Dolphins. Not terribly shocking there. You want to change the pin poll for me, Chris, and make it A, B, C, D, or F to grade the T-Mac pick? Let's have some fun. 81% of you guys wanted to go receiver in round 1, so I guess mission accomplished on that front. These are the overly sugary, simply spiked lemonade. This is cherry limeade. It should actually be pretty good. James, did you take any jersey besides Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos? That's fair. I actually respect the hell out of that. I respect it. Cheers to you, James. One of several coming up here. There we go. T-Mac was my pick. I'm a fan of it. That's my guy at receiver this year. It would have been, I would have had to think really hard about, like, hey, what would I have done if T-Mac was gone? Because I feel confident saying that the Cowboys would probably just take Matthew Golden and be done with it. I like Luther Burden a lot, though. So that would have been very, very challenging for me with how things play out. Says pick 14 is in, but there is no announcement. Okay. Chris's guy, Jahad Campbell, off the board at 14 to the Indianapolis Colts. So Campbell's gone. Walker's gone. Edges. Mike Williams is the best remaining edge. I feel like that's going to be Petey's pick here. It's got to be, right? It's also Petey. Petey can go rogue.
I feel like the two sim picks have been a little odd.
They have been.
Because I have not seen Jahad Campbell to the Colts in any mock drafts.
Petey went weird with it. Nick Emenwari out of South Carolina, the safety, who I do like a lot. A freaky athlete. Very, very gifted player. I am surprised to see that be the pick for the Falcons and not one of the edges. But Nick Emenwari, the pick at 15 after Jihad Campbell goes 14. So Cardinals and Bengals are going to be back-to-back sim picks here, by the way. Back-to-back sim picks are coming up, which always makes things interesting here. I am excited to see how that ends up playing through here. I think I got to put the Falcons in that sweats section. I don't know about safety for Atlanta in round one. I don't know. So I'm gonna put the Falcons in one of that for one of the four. Got it in there. All right, second beer bong coming up here. Do another one. Why not? So Cardinals are in. Or Cardinals on the clock, by the way. Jalen Walker went to the 49ers. He's not available. Ooh. Donovan Ezeraku off the board here. The Sim's getting spicy with it today. Cardinals take Donovan Ezeraku out of Boston College, who I'm actually not mad at that one at all. I think he's an underrated player. He will be in my top 32. I am exceedingly surprised, though, to see Michael Williams continue to fall down, which is unusual. So, so I could just jump back to last year's draft graphic on that one. That's unusual. So Nick Emenwari, the pick at 15. The Bengals are on the clock at 17. Jahdae Barron is the pick here for the Cincinnati Bengals at 17, which I actually like that fit a lot for them. I think that's a good pick. They need it. It continues their trend of like only adding nickel corners. Like they love that type of player, like nickel/safety guys, but playing the outside a bit too. So Jahdae Barron there at 17. Seattle is taking Colston Loveland at 18, which I didn't anticipate. Maybe I should reevaluate my Seahawks draft planning there with them taking Colston Loveland. The value's solid, but God, they need offensive line help, like real bad. It's also Seattle. They don't do that stuff. So, I don't know. Colston Loveland goes 18 to the Seattle Seahawks. I wish Tyler put in the entire full name in there because everyone should know who Colston Loveland is there. So the Bucks on the clock now at 19. That pick is a simulated one because we have no Bucks channel here at Chat Sports. Let's do a beer bong. Out. There was a bubble at the front. I wasn't ready for it. I got that. That one caught me off guard. An air bubble and just a giant. I can't say it any way except dirty in the end. Jorge, should we just have Chat Sports hosts do the real draft? I mean, I think some of us would do better. Some of us would probably do worse, but that's how it goes. We'll be live for the entire NFL draft, though. A lot of us here, a lot of the channels, will be live on the Cowboys Report the entire time as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed. We're doing 3 rounds on today's live mock draft. Bucks on the clock here at number 19. I'm going to clear out some excess spacing on my little hybrid big board I made for just this moment. There we go. No other receivers taken yet. That's kind of why I think you could maybe trade down, but Tampa could take a receiver here too. All right. Tampa pick is in with, did it come in across on your end of Petey submitting his Broncos pick before the Bucs one came in? On your Slack? No, like on the Slack side. Because I see Petey jumping ahead there in the ordering on his end. He did? Yeah. All right, Shamar Stewart to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we have a bit of a Mike Williams slide going on. And then probably not a huge surprise here either. Marion Hampton goes 20 to the Denver Broncos. Steelers are on the clock. Is Sperry going to go rogue and take a QB? Because I've told him I think the QBs in this class are bad. But he doesn't always agree. So I'm very curious what Pittsburgh does here at 21. So Stewart, Hampton at 19 and 20. I only have one of the sweating picks left, so we might need to get another one here. Let's see. We're waiting on the Steelers pick to come in. I'm going to put the Colts in that sweating category, too. I don't know. Colston Lovin was right there for them. And, like, they do need probably another linebacker, but I don't love that one. I don't love that one. Let's see what Sperry does. Sperry takes Derek Harmon, the defensive tackle, out of Oregon. I do like that pick. That's actually going to be probably my actual mock draft pick come by final mock draft. So, Derek Harmon goes one. This is where I think things could get weird. Like, this is where the board kind of gets a little bit murky and unclear. The receivers are all still there. In theory, we get some receiver picks here with the Chargers and the Green Bay Packers. Chargers is a sim pick, by the way. No Chat Sports host for them. Pittsburgh has taken Derek Harmon, the defensive tackle, out of Oregon at 21. I took Teteroa McMillan at number 12. We are going 3 rounds on this one. 3 rounds with pick 21 coming up, or 22 coming up next. As a reminder, with terrible timing for this today, we did the short on it. Hakeem Adeniji is the pick, or is the signing of the Cowboys. Offensive line, additional depth, they go 15 deep now on the offensive line, which is kind of surprising on that front. But Hakeem Adeniji is a Cowboy with that roster move. Kenneth Grant is the pick by the LA Chargers. That actually kind of makes some sense, doesn't it? I had harbored outside hopes that, hey, maybe he slides. I didn't think he was going to, but I've seen some like actual mock drafts that have him like at pick 38, like maybe he slides to the Cowboys there. Didn't happen. That's okay. So the Packers now on the clock. This one is also going to be a sim pick here. And then we're getting closer to the swipe away that's sourcing stuff later. Closer to the Cowboys pick in round 2. Packers on the clock here at number 23. Let me know who you have your eye on in round 2. I'm very curious how the offensive line stuff could play out. I've got my list. I got a handful of defensive players I'm intrigued by. But I feel like I'm just going to end up taking like there's not going to be a run on corners, and I'll take one of those guys. I feel like that's what's going to end up happening. I feel like that. I am curious to see what else happens here. I'm almost very curious, like round 2, round 3, what weird picks do we get? Like that's what I'm excited to see play out. So you won in round 2. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Part of me wants to not take a back no matter what in round 2, just to see who falls and who doesn't fall. That would be super curious. The sim pick for the Packers is in, and then Minnesota will go back on the sim as well since Steve's is out of town. Luther Burden is the receiver taken at 23. I like Luther Burden a lot. I actually respect the hell out of this. Like, he is my number 2 receiver. I have him over Matthew Golden. Not by a lot. It's very minimal, but that's noteworthy to me. So Minnesota, Houston, LA. Does the sim take Jackson Dart? Could you imagine? It's possible. It's the sim. So Vikings on the clock at pick 24. Those of you just now tuning in, we are doing the Chat Sports live mock draft. A lot of the hosts here at Chat Sports are making selections for all of the picks as they happen. Pick is in with the Vikings. I like this one. Malachi Starks. I think that's actually kind of fairly realistic too. Is the pick here in round 1 for Minnesota. Malachi Starks has been selected. There's also several offensive linemen who are on the board still that I'm like, hey, could one of those guys be the best player available? Like, could that end up happening? I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Who do you want to take in round 2? Let me know in the comments of today's show. We are getting closer to that one coming through. So it is the Texans on the clock. I think they're going to take. I think Chug's going to take Matthew Golden. That's what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to take Matthew Golden. They need offensive line, but I think he wants a receiver too. It's definitely either offensive line or Matthew Golden. I don't think there's any in between. I'm also shocked that Michael Williams is still on the board. Like, I did not have that one on my bingo card. But it's the draft. Weird stuff happens all the time. So waiting on Chugs to get his pick in. Rams auto sim might have to happen here if Chugs does not make that selection. Who you want in round 2? And Cowboys did sign Hakeem Adeniji today. A 1-year deal. I have my doubts he will end up making the Cowboys roster when it's all said and done. So let's see. Who you want in round 2? Hey, I was right. It's Matthew Golden. I was right. Matthew Golden gets to stay in Texas. Chugs, I like that pick a lot for him. I think that's a really good pick. So Matthew Golden to the Texans, round 1, pick 25. That puts the Rams on the clock now. Offensive tackle for them, maybe? Maybe? Jackson Durham is going to make this pick for the Rams. He is a Rams fan. We found a Rams fan that exists. Go figure. Again, those of you just now tuning in, 2 things going on today. Breaking down the Cowboys mock draft picks in our live Chat Sports mock draft. 3 rounds on this front. And oh, by the way, that the Cowboys signed Hakeem Adeniji. They worked him out yesterday, brought him in and signed him additional depth along the offensive line. I have doubts if he ends up being a starter or even makes the team for Dallas. All right, Kelvin Banks Jr. off the board here, round 1, pick 26. The most Ravens thing ever is about to happen, by the way. They are about to take Michael Williams. I am convinced. That is the most Cowboys pick or Baltimore pick ever. George SEC, edge rusher, fills a need. They grab the guy who's sliding. That is textbook pick right there. Like, just textbook. Oh, he didn't. James Pierce Jr. He went full homer. All right, put the Ravens on the GM sweating standpoint. That is a full homer pick by Joey. Takes the Tennessee guy over the better prospect in Michael Williams. I mean, you're an SEC guy too, Chris, so you can chime in here too. What a homer pick by our Ravens host, Joey Peterson. James Pierce Jr. off the board. Now the Lions get Michael Williams probably in the sim. That's what they should do. That would be a home run pick for Detroit. What a homer pick. For a guy with real character concerns, that is actually a very un-Baltimore pick, as far as I'm concerned. James Pierce Jr. to the Baltimore Ravens, taken by a Tennessee grad. Who would have thought that one coming there? So almost done with round 1 here. I'm going to get to that in just a second. We'll also recap round 1 once it is over, so stay tuned for that.
I'm surprised after watching him for the past couple of years. Like, yes, he's a fantastic player, but
Can't
talk about the character issues. You talk about the run game, too. He's a pass rusher. Yeah. Like, that is what he really thrives at.
All right. James Pierce, round 2. We are waiting on the Lions pick. Right now, I'm put the fan on me. Getting a little warm with the big old hoodie on. Lions at pick 28. Focus up on me. There you go, camera. Commanders. Dude, I don't think Sperry's doing the Commanders picks, but they should sprint for Micah Williams, too. All right. Let's see. Oh! The Lions at 28 have taken Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. The Micah Williams slides continue. Sperry's so going to take Micah Williams. He's so going to do it. Commanders at 29. Then the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Eagles to wrap things up here. For round 1, then we will recap all of the picks and go back to round 2 and then on to the 3rd round as well. Commanders on the clock here at pick 29. I think Emeka Egbuka's going to go to the Chiefs, maybe? Who do the Eagles take? I'm very curious. There's been some offensive linemen sliding. Some sliding offensive linemen there. I'm curious where the corners end up going. I cannot stand this pick. Jaden Higgins to the Commanders. There is our 4th one. That is the Iowa State receiver. Goes round 1, pick 29. I have a early 3rd round grade on him. I see an average route runner at best. He tested pretty well, and that's a pretty big concern for me. Of just like what you have as I don't like that. I guess he wants Jaden to Jaden. I just see. I'm worried he's more of a big slot than a true X, and that type of player has scared me. He's a good blocker. I have other receivers higher. I am very surprised on that one. I am kind of. I did not expect that to happen. So Higgins, round 1, pick 29. That puts the Bills on the clock now. In fact, I don't even think he took the best Iowa State receiver. I think that's Jalen Noel. I like him, just not at pick 29. Now the Bills, we're kind of in this status of like every single team should take Micah Williams status. It's not going to happen now. I didn't miss Micah, right? I'm not crazy. He's not been taken. Okay. Trey Amos is off the board here to the Buffalo Bills, round 1, pick 30. It's a little early. I like Maxwell Harrison more, but I get it. So Trey Amos at 30. The Chiefs at pick 31. And then as soon as the round 2 pick is in, let's do our sponsor planning here. So Jaden Higgins goes round 1, pick 29. Trey Amos goes round 1, pick 30. And now we are sitting here at the 30th overall pick for the Buffalo Bills. The Chiefs on the clock here at 31. We can't use all the graphics. That's the whole point of it. It's a minute between picks. That's fine. I don't know. Anyway, Higgins, 29. Trey Amos at 30. And the Chiefs now on the clock at pick 31. Their pick is also in. Gray Zabel, the offensive lineman from North Dakota State, is the 31st pick in the NFL draft, in this Chat Sports-led mock draft, of course. That puts the Eagles on the clock. Come on. I think there's really 2.5 guys. Michael. We know who the Eagles are going to take, right? Like, in real life, this is so clearly Michael Williams, right? Like, clearly. Eagles, Georgia, defensive lineman. Clearly is the pick. I think Chip is handling the Eagles pick. I think. But that makes so much sense. So Chiefs are taking Gray Zabel here at 31. And the Eagles are on the clock at pick 32. That weigh-in 4 all set up? Sweet. So Gray Zabel, guard/center prospect out of North Dakota State, round 1, pick 31. Eagles, I mean, come on. They're so clearly going to take Michael Williams, right? Like, surely they do. And maybe Ibuka goes to the Raiders. Or do the Patriots take Emeka Ibuka? That could be an option for him, too. So we got the Browns, Giants, Titans, Jags coming up here after the round 32 pick. I think you can just get to the full reset side here. And I'll just announce it, and then we'll go right into it. So Eagles to wrap up round 1. We are doing 3 rounds, by the way. Again, Matthew Golden. That's not the order we're going in here. Eagles on the clock here. Round 1, pick 32. As we are about to get into the second round of this mock draft once Chip makes his pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. Then we'll have a bit of a break time reset for the second round. We're waiting for the Eagles pick here. Who do you want in round 2? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. And in the least surprising outcome in human history, the Philadelphia Eagles have indeed taken Michael Williams out of Georgia. So as soon as Chris gives me the all clear, we will get set up for the second round. All set, Chris? Let's do it. You guys are watching the Cowboys Report by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey. If you're just now tuning in for our live Chat Sports mock draft, let's recap the round 1 picks presented by Mando. This is all led by the Chat Sports hosts, plus some sims for teams that don't have a first round or don't have a host for. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, no surprises there. Tyler Warren, a surprise in round 1, pick 5. Ashton Genty, Armand Membu, Mason Graham. Shadur Sanders goes 9 to the Saints. Mike Green, Jalen Walker. Teteroa McMillan was my pick for your Dallas Cowboys at number 12. Will Johnson, Jihad Campbell, Nick Emenwari, Donovan Ezeraku from the Cardinals. Jahdae Barron to the Bengals. Colston Loveland to Seattle. Shamar Stewart to the Bucks. Amarian Hampton to the Broncos. Back-to-back defensive tackles. Derek Harmon, Kenneth Grant, 21-22. Luther Burden goes 23. Malachi Starks, 24 to the Vikings. Matthew Golden and Kelvin Banks, back-to-back Texas boys to the Texans and the Rams. James Pierce, the surprise at 27 to the Ravens. Walter Nolan goes 28. Jaden Higgins, a stunner over Emeka Ibuka to the Commanders at pick 29. Trey Amos, Gray Zabel, and then the most realistic thing ever, Michael Williams slides to Philadelphia at pick 32. And that brings me to my Mando GM sweat check. Which GM needs Mando the most after those interesting round 1 picks? I've got 4 options for you here. The Falcons, which was a Matthew Peterson-led selection, taking Nick Emenwari. The Colts, which was a sim pick, to be fair, taking Jihad Campbell. The Ravens taking James Pierce over Michael Williams. That's B-A-L, A-T-L for the Falcons, I-N-D for the Colts. And the Commanders taking Jaden Higgins of Iowa State, the wide receiver. Vote for me in the comments section of today's show. A-T-L, I-N-D, B-A-L, W-A-S for the Commanders. The largest reach based on my own personal big board, the Commanders. I think Jaden Higgins is the second best Iowa State wide receiver. I think he's a good player. Just not worthy of a top 30 pick for a team that also got Deebo Samuel this offseason and maybe has other needs they could have addressed instead of wide receiver. But that's my take. Sound off with what you guys think in the comments of today's show. As a reminder, today's show is made possible, and our 2025 draft coverage too. It's all sponsored by Mando. Spring is in the air, which, hey, it means I get to golf again. And especially for my own weight these days, I want to walk, not ride 18 holes, and Mando Whole Body Deodorant helps keep me fresh from head to toe, because golf balls aren't the only ones that need to be kept clean after all. Mando is clinically proven to help block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. The Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack by using code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. The link, shopmando.com, and the promo code CHAT, C-H-A-T, will be in the comments and the description of today's show. We are getting set up now for round 2 of this mock draft. Josh Simmons is available. Emeka Egbuka is ESPN's best available. I will have our and my big board available for the actual draft itself, but it's just not ready yet, and I wasn't going to have time. We're going to spend Saturday, Sunday getting that fully finished up. But Josh Simmons, Emeka Egbuka, Tyler Booker, Donovan Temple, 3 OSU players in the top 4, 4 in the top 6. Savone Revel, who I am tempted by. He's on the short list of options there. Travion Henderson out of Ohio State, Josh Connerly out of Oregon, the offensive tackle. I would jump on Maxwell Harrison too. I would. I'm looking at corner and defensive line in particular because part of me just wants to see who's available in the third round in the backfield. That's kind of what I want to see. I just want to see how it plays out almost. Because I think in real life the running backs will go earlier than they do in the Sims. So I kind of want to see how it plays out. That's kind of what I want to see. What happens there? Mason Taylor, Elijah Arroyo, Quinshon Judkins, Henderson. If Henderson is there at 44, I'm taking him. I don't think he's going to get past the Bears and Harrison Graham. I think in real life too, he's going to go off the board there. Darius Alexander, Jonah Savanaia, TJ Sanders, Carson Schwessinger, who I think is an underrated player, could even sneak in around 1. Those are the ESPN top 16 available players. Who do you guys want to draft in round 2? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Let me know who do you want to draft in the second round. Let me charge my phone, too, since I had to do the whole giant setup stuff there. Let me know, and we'll discuss. We can go to some of the T-Mac graphics if you want to, Chris, for my pick. Get some experience there. See, Henderson. I take Booker. If Booker's there, I'm taking him. I'll do it. I don't care. That's best available for me. That's just at that point. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the good player. That's kind of all I would in particular be worried about in the end. So we're going to start round 2 here in a little bit. As a reminder, my pick in round 1, Teteroa McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona, got the number 1 receiver on my board. There are 2 players who have put up at least there's 1 player who has put up at least 1,300 plus yards in each of the last 2 seasons at wide receiver, and it was T-Mac. I don't think he is the greatest athlete. He is not a burner by any stretch of the imagination, but he does give me T. Higgins vibes, where he is able to be a elite potential number 2 receiver with your number 1 being CeeDee Lamb, obviously. He brings you size you don't have. You don't have someone who plays as fluidly as this 6'4" and change, 213-pound wide receiver does. I wouldn't be mad at like a Matthew Golden either. There's plenty of players. I would honestly be surprised if we got out of round 1 and I'm like, yeah, they took a bad player. I was mad about it. Like, I think there's enough value there that they'll be able to get a good football player. For me, factoring in what this team needs, McMillan was the realistic name that I wanted, and I got him. I think he has the size to play that X big body outside. He's not Des Bryant, but that's the role Des Bryant played, that X receiver. But he's also way more fluid than I think people expected his size. He does a really good job after the catch as well. I think you take T-Mac in round 1, you lock up that wide receiver spot, and then you can look towards the defensive line, edge, DT, corner in round 2, running back in round 2, and take other spots there in the 3rd. So we are into round 2. The Cleveland Browns are on the clock here in the 2nd round. Took us, 45-ish minutes to get through round 1? That's pretty quick, all things considered. So now we get to see, okay, what does PD do? PD, Matthew Peterson, is drafting for the Browns here. Does he go quarterback? Or does he just say F the QB altogether? Like, you've got quarterback intrigue here to start the 2nd round, which you might get in the real draft too. Browns at 33, Giants at 34. Do one of them end up taking a QB? If not, where do they go?
You know, it's kind of putting your job on the line if you're a GM, but you look in the future and you think next year's draft class at quarterback is probably better. Do you just build the team around someone you're going to pick next year at quarterback maybe?
That's the complicated bit. Like, the Browns have the job security. I don't think the Giants do at all. I think the Giants have to win games now. So they can't, I don't think you can take Jalen Milroe if you're in New York. Like, he's now maybe Marshall can because he's got no job security issues, but so that plays out. A running back is off the board in round 2 at pick 33. That is Caleb Johnson, who I will say does fit what the Browns want to do on offense very well. He is a natural scheme fit. He's my number 4 back. I have Henderson over him, but I have a 2nd round grade, so I don't hate that one at all. But Caleb Johnson is the pick here for the Cleveland Browns. Did add 10 pounds between his pro day and the combine, and his pro day, which I found interesting. But he added weight, which makes no sense. It's not normally how things go. Like, you don't normally see a player add a bunch of weight unless they had lost weight to try to run fast, and Johnson did not run fast. So that's kind of like just like an asterisk of like, okay, that's noteworthy to me. So Browns take Caleb Johnson here in the 2nd round at pick 33. So the first pick of day 2, obviously round 2, is a running back here. Giants now on the clock at pick 34. Then I bet Tennessee is desperate for a Emeka Egbuka or an edge. They're going to go edge too, but I'd bet they got their eyes on that. I don't know what Marshall's going to do here. Tackle? Could he go Simmons or Booker? Get some offensive line help? I could see that being the case. So Micah Williams went round 1. Who do you guys with the Cowboys to take in round 2? We got several picks until we get there, but that's coming up here in just a little bit. Browns have made the pick in round 3. That is Caleb Johnson. Oh! Emeka Egbuka is the pick for Marshall. I guess that actually makes some sense. He and I have been talking like he wanted to get a receiver in this class. He likes the receiver class a lot. If you need to put in production, none of those are in. Like, that's fine. So, round 2, pick 33 is Caleb Johnson. And then, yeah, good call there. Emeka Egbuka is the pick at 34. As a reminder, for those of you just now tuning in, the Cowboys also made a signing. Hakeem Adeniji, a veteran offensive lineman, did not play last year because of injury, is a member of the Cowboys, a 1-year deal. on, I assume, a 1-year deal with probably little to no guaranteed money. They've got 15 offensive linemen now, which does add some intrigue there. So Caleb Johnson goes to the Browns in round 2, pick 33. Emeka Egbuka goes round 2, pick 34. Alper and the Titans might be in shambles over that one. So, and feel free to try to work in some other graphics. Keep that screen fresh. Titans on the clock now, round 2, pick 35. Jacksonville, the Raiders, Patriots, and the Bears at then pick 39. The Bears also have pick 41, by the way. So offensive heavy to get things going here today. Caleb Johnson, then Emeka Egbuka. Some of the best available prospects: Josh Simmons, Tyler Booker, Donovan Jackson, Savone Revel out of ECU. Travion Henderson is there for now. Josh Connerly, Maxwell Hairston, Mason Taylor all taken. The Titans pick is in, and it is an old Cam Ward teammate, Kyle Williams, the Washington State wide receiver who has kind of become like everybody, like every draft analyst, like, oh yeah, sleeper pick in the 3rd round. I've got him in that kind of late 3rd round range. He is undersized. He played with Cam Ward at Miami. The hands have had some issues in the past. He doesn't run a full route tree, but he offers punt return ability, or some return ability, I should say. He's tested very well, ran a great 4.44, or 4.40 40-yard dash. He's just 5'11", sub 5'11", 190, but he put up 1,000+ yards this year for Washington State. So Titans get the Cam Ward teammate at pick 35 as the receiver run gets underway. I do have my eyes on some defensive tackles, by the way, for the Cowboys pick. Darius Alexander, TJ Sanders, Tyleik Williams, Alfred Collins, some of those that stand out. I've got Collins in the 3rd, Williams, Sanders, Alexander in the 2nd/3rd. But I think that Tyleik is the one that actually fits what they need. I worry about Alexander just being a 3-tech, which I kind of already have right now. All right, the Jags sim pick is in. There is no Jags host here at Chat Sports. Josh Simmons is the selection for Jacksonville. Round 2, pick 36. The Raiders on the clock. They are a possible corner team. Savone Revel, Maxwell Hairston, Azareye'h Thomas, and also Benjamin Morrison are 4 guys that I think are worth 2nd-round picks. I haven't stacked my board yet. They might crack the top 50 when it's all said and done. They are all very talented players. Revel's got injury history. Benjamin Morrison has injury history. Thomas didn't run the fastest 40-yard dash. Maxwell Hairston kind of had a down year, so to speak. But Revel, Hairston, Thomas, and Morrison are the top corners. The top running backs: Travion Henderson, Quinshad Judkins, only guys I'd consider in round 2, frankly. And then a lot of guys I'd consider in the 3rd round. I think that 3rd and 4th round is kind of a juicy, sweet spot for this Cowboys team. So I am excited to see, what the running backs, corners, and defensive line, plus who slides in general into that. So who do you want to draft in round 2? You can let me know in the comments of today's show. As we took Tetero and McMillan in round 1, the receivers are all gone. I will also mention if Tyler Booker somehow gets to me in the 2nd, I will take him. That is too good a value. I don't think he gets there, and he will not get there because Mitch just took him for the Las Vegas Raiders. So I like that for Mitch. I think that's just taking the best player on the board. Tyler Booker, round 2, pick 37. Man, we have gone offensive heavy. If you want to go to some of these, if you want to recap round 2 for me here, Chris. Gone offensive heavy here so far. Caleb Johnson, Emeka Egbuka, Kyle Williams, Josh Simmons, and then Tyler Booker just came in as the pick in round 2 at 37 to the Bears, or to the Raiders. It's Patriots, Bears, Saints, Bears, Jets. Cowboys picking up here at number 44 in just a little bit. I'm also like kind of tempted by Carson Schlesinger. I don't think that would be their pick, but I think that's like a conversation this team would end up having in the war room. By the way, I feel like a genius for taking wide receiver in round 1 because we just had another one go off the board. Trey Harris out of Ole Miss is gone. So we have had a run on wide receivers in the last, 20 picks? Something like that? Because no one took a receiver until the Packers took Luther Burden. Houston took Matthew Golden. Jaden Higgins has gone off the board. And then Kyle Williams, Emeka Ibuka, and now at pick 38, off the board is Trey Harris, which leaves Jalen Noel, who I like a lot. Jack Besh, who I think is kind of a third-round guy, maybe late 2. Alec Kamara, I'm a big fan of. I have a second-round grade. He's actually my number 5 receiver. But I'm alone on that. I don't think many people agree, and that's okay. It's flavors of ice cream. I feel good about taking a wide receiver. And I feel that was a smart move on my part. So Bears 39, Saints 40, Bears 41, Jets 42, Niners, and then the Dallas Cowboys. And I got my eyes on. I've got 6 players that I feel very comfortable taking. Might have some tough decisions to make in the process here, but I feel good about that. Bears have made their selection. They're taking Josh Connerly, the offensive tackle, out of Chicago, or out of Oregon, heads to Chicago, Round 2, pick 39. I got a second-round grade on Connerly. If the Patriots don't take a tackle in round 1, I think he is the pick of 38. I think he goes top 40. I feel pretty good about that one. So recent picks: Tyler Booker, Trey Harris, and now Josh Connerly heading to the Chicago Bears. Round 2, pick 39. That puts the Saints on the clock here at number 40. We'll go to the best available after this next Bears pick. How about that? We'll go 40, 41, see who the picks are, look at the best available. I've got eyes on, in no particular order, Travion Henderson, Maxwell Harrison, Savone Revel, Azarie Thomas, Benjamin Morrison, Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State as well. I think he's a good run stopper. So that's several names that are all there for me if I wanted to. The pick at 40 is in. The Saints have taken, and it's a very Trace pick, isn't it? Mason Taylor, who went to LSU, is the son, by the way, of Jason Taylor. He is the pick at number 40 to the New Orleans Saints. So the Bears now back on the clock. I think he's going to take Henderson. If he doesn't, I guess I have to stick to my guns and take Travion at 44, don't I? My plan was I want to see how it plays out if I don't take a back in round 2. But at this point, if Henderson's there at 44, I'm going to jump all over that. I hope a defensive tackle or a corner slide to me. And I think that they would. So that's my mindset here. If that ends up happening, I think there's a good chance of it. Donovan Jackson is there. Savone Revel is there. Travion Henderson, Maxwell Harrison. Oh! Well, I was right about the Bears taking an Ohio State back. Not the right one that I had. Travion Henderson is still there. Quinshon Judkins is the pick at 41 to Chicago, which now, with the Jets and the Niners on the clock, I'm thinking I can get Henderson. Niners aren't going to do it. It's a matter of what does the Jets simulated pick do? Which you never know. It's a sim pick here for the Jets. Look, this was not my intent. I was going to wait till round 3 to take it back. I'm taking Henderson if he's there. I'm taking him. I don't care. That is my type of back. He is explosive. He is a big play threat. He is one of the best pass protectors in this class. I'm taking Henderson. I probably would have taken Maxwell Harrison otherwise, because I think he's a good corner. I think he fits. He can do some inside stuff. I think he's actually a really good fit. I was hoping he was going to be there for me. I didn't know if he was going to be. I have to take Henderson, though. I have to. That's too good. TJ Sanders off the board to the New York Football Jets. So Niners are on the clock here. I have been told to use my time appropriately. What's the Bama legend background? Yeah. Drew Sanders. You're going to Drew Sanders. That's who you're thinking of. Toxic says, Tom, that's going to be the funniest thing in time right now. If they take Anderson, I don't care. I'm just going to take Maxwell Harrison. It's fine. I view this scenario so far as an absolute win. Absolute win for me. Sanders at 42, that's fine. I think I actually would have taken Tyreek Williams for the Cowboys specifically over him. I'm assuming it's not Henderson here. I'm taking him. It's Henderson or Harrison for me. And I'll pass on the medical stuff with Revel and see if he falls even further. See where he goes. So this for me is Henderson's probably going to crack my top 32 on my board. So to get two, and you know what? Chip made the selection for me pretty easy, actually. He made it pretty easy. The Niners just took Maxwell Harrison, which imagine if Henderson was gone, then I would have been really upset. So again, this works out well. I have to wait my turn. I'm told to not get my pick in too early. There's a lot of guys I like. I would not be mad at Tyreek Williams here. Savone, Revel, the medical stuff. And I get that, the doctor sent the note to all 32 teams. That's fine. They did that for Jonathan Brooks, and he wasn't good until October. That doesn't mean anything to me. That happens every year. It's just a valid question mark. Who do you want in round 2? I have been told to wait until I am on the clock. Maxwell Harrison, who I think was the most fun combine interview. He got up there and asked hey, how fast are you gonna run? Are you gonna put on a show? He goes, he told me to get your popcorn ready. I'm gonna put on a show, and he did. Called himself Locksmith because he locks up corners. I love it. You need that attitude as a outside corner, as a corner to fight and thrive. He brings that. So I like Maxwell Harrison. I think that's a good pick. I would take him at 44 and be happy with it. Chris, what's up?
I was just going to say, don't locksmiths unlock things?
No, they
lock them down.
Locksmith, they can still lock stuff too. They had the combination to get unlocked too. So that's fine. Who do you want in round 2? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. I am going to submit the pick of Travion Henderson. This is just, I am taking the best player at a position of need for me. The offensive line that was left was Donovan Jackson. I have Henderson higher. The next best corner was Savone Revel. I have Henderson higher. Defensive line was William. I have Henderson higher. I am taking Henderson and being excited about it. So give me your one-word reaction to the pick, and we'll have Chris change the pin poll to grade this one as well. Give me your one-word reaction to the selection of Travion Henderson. We'll change the pin poll as well to be able to grade this selection. We are now going to have a little break in the action. That's the built-in commercial break to get everyone else caught up there. Henderson is the pick, so I am now mostly going to be focused once we get to the third round on adding a defensive piece. If there is an offensive lineman I have a couple of names written down. I don't think they slide that far, but I would consider it. Then I'm looking at linebackers, at edges, at corners, at defensive tackles. I'm going to clear out my other batch of running back names. And hopefully there is a good defender on the board for me. That is what I'm hoping for in the third round. I think this is one of, if not frankly, the biggest outside of maybe Ashton Genty. This is probably one of the most explosive backs in the NFL or in this year's class. Henderson's production in a limited sample size was nothing short of incredible. His numbers here this year, 4.43 yards after contact. 22% of his runs were 10 or more yards. So about every fourth time he touches the ball, he is creating an explosive play on the ground. That's obviously going to dip into, or as we go forward in the NFL, but this is a third down pass protector. He's 5'10", 204, 4.43 40-yard dash. He can pass catch. He can make big plays. The throwback athletic comp is Curtis Martin. Now, I don't think it's going to be Curtis Martin. I think there are elements of the good version of Tony Pollard to his game. I have a second-round grade on Henderson. He is an explosive back. He is my number 3 back in the class. He is the 5th back taken in this sim, or this live. I was shocked by. I didn't think that was going to happen. And there's a lot to like about his game. He might not ever be a 250 carry workhorse back. I don't need that, though. I don't need a 250 carry guy. I need someone to take over and be a explosive play runner. He can pair with some Miles Sanders, compare with Javonte Williams. When you listen to what Brian Schottenheimer said of what he wants out of his backs, he described TreVeyon Henderson. Now, there are several who described in this class, but Henderson was certainly one of them. So Nick Scorton is the pick here in round 2, pick 45 out of Texas A&M. He is off the board, which they get their edge rusher. I actually don't mind that pick at all for the Falcons. I think he could have gone like Micah Williams and Xavier Watts, and I'd have been really intrigued, but that's how it goes sometimes. Scorton. So that was the Falcons who made that pick. The Colts who made the Scorton pick. The Falcons just took JT Tuimoloau out of Ohio State. So we'll break down that, but please grade this pick. TreVeyon Henderson in round 2, pick 44. Get those votes in for me. A, B, C, D, or F. 80% are voting A on that one. I guess you guys like it. I guess I'm doing a good job so far. Sweet. We'll see what round 3 brings. It gets a little bit murky at that point. It gets a little bit less crystal clear is my guess for how that's all going to play out. So grade the pick. A, B, C, D, or F. I have highlighted the changes to make in the Hakeem Adeniji section script there. I don't know if you did it or not, but those are the ones that I made or not. So sweet. Yeah, I mean, we'll ride with that, and I'll change the pin stuff later. That's how it goes. It's not terrible timing, by the way. The news of the day: the Cowboys signed Hakeem Adeniji as we were live for this mock draft. Like, we were literally 2 minutes from starting going on the clock, and the Cowboys make a signing. Just terrible timing. So Falcons take JT Tuimoloau. The short's crushing at least. So great. Alec Ayomanor, excuse me. I am a huge fan of his. I don't think there are that many people who are higher on Alec than I am. Almost 6'2", 206. Only put up 831 yards. His quarterback was terrible. This is the one guy who really got on Travis Hunter. Back in 2023, 12 targets, 7 catches, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ran a 4.44 40-yard dash. There's great body control. He is a rawer player. He has not played a lot. He was a hockey player growing up in Canada. I was very impressed by Alec Ayomanor. I got him at 47. He's a second-round grade for me. I like his pick a lot. I like that pick by the sim. The computer did a great job with the Cardinals at number 47 there. So Dolphins on the clock. That pick is in. Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State, which I actually think is they need offensive line help. I think it's a strong mock by Miami. Will Johnson, Donovan Jackson, round 1, round 2. I like that a lot. So the Bengals now in round 3. This is a sim pick, by the way. I'm very curious to see what the sim pick does for the Bengals. Then Seattle, Denver, Seattle. So a couple Seahawks picks all in a row. Still no other quarterbacks have been taken, by the way. No other QBs off the board quite yet. None. So Dolphins take Donovan Jackson. We are waiting on the Bengals to be simulated now. Marshall's asking for boots. I think I do owe one more beer bong, don't I? I kind of think I do. I have it here. I think I owe one more for James's super chat. Additional 50s will be beer bongs as well. There we go. Now we're fresh out. Bengals. Okay, I like this. Tyleik Williams at Ohio State. I mean, they need defensive line help. They need a better run stopper. I like that pick. That's something that I was considering depending on how the board fell for the Cowboys. I think as a run-stopping defensive tackle, that's one of the better ones in this class. That is a instant impact upfront player. The local guy nails it. I think that's strong. Jade Bear and Tyleik Williams are two players I'm very high on. So I like that quite a bit. So Williams to the Bengals. Seattle has 2 of the next 3 picks. Let's do a beer bong and celebrate. Someone's crushing it. Even though it's small. All right, the best available players with Seattle now on the clock. Savone Revel, Elijah Arroyo, Ariante Ursary, Darius Alexander, Jonah Savnaea, Carson Schlesinger. I don't think there's any chance he gets to the Cowboys in round 3, but I will jump all over. I don't like the linebacker class. He's by far the number 2. Azarie Thomas, Benjamin Morrison. What are the odds one of those top 3 corners left falls to me? It's got to be super low, right? Like it has to be, right? Like there's no way, right? Unless, wait, maybe. Jared Wilson. There's Jackson Dart. He's still available. Marcus Bowe, Xavier Watts, Alfred Collins, who I have him big green tag of like maybe for the Cowboys. Landon Jackson, Jalen Milroe. Does he go today, you think? Milroe? Like in this live mock. Emory Jones. That's really high for him after last year. That's really high. All right. Henderson was my pick in round 2, pick 44. Tyleik Williams off the board. Tate Ratledge, the latest pick out of Georgia. I don't mind that one, actually. That's actually pretty solid. They need offensive line help. Hell, if I were Tyler, I might take 2 guards here. They're not. That's kind of crazy, but I would consider it. So Denver's on the clock. They took a Marion Hampton. Wonder where they go this time around. Carson Schlesinger, maybe? Probably not. We'll see what they do. I think they should go defensive line. They should take Darius Alexander. That's what they should do. Mark Hoffespain, or Mark, however you pronounce it, I'm sorry. If we nab McMillan Henderson and a stud DT falls to us at 3, this will be an A-plus draft. Rest of the areas are running back and DT are deep. We need at 11 who can nab McMillan. Yeah, if I can get a DT or a corner, either of those I would be pretty darn happy with. I will say for me, the board gets a little bit thin at the defensive tackle spot in corner. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish guys I would be pretty comfortable taking at corner. And the defensive tackle room for me, I've got, let me double check my notes here. I've got, because I'm not a Shamar Turner fan. I've got 1, 2, I want a 3 technique. And I don't have a lot of, I want a nose guard. Disregard what I literally just said. I want a nose guard, and a lot of the nose guard grades for me are 4th and 5th round picks. So that is I think if it came down to it, unless it's Alfred Collins, who I think could be there, I would probably go corner over DT because I think I can find a nose guard, whether it's CJ West, Vernon Broughton even, Deion Walker, Jordan Phillips, Jamari Caldwell, Jay Tuya, Cam Jackson, I can find a nose guard in the 5th round. I think I can find one. I would be more worried about corner, and I tend to value the pass rushers a little bit more. I do like C.J. West as well. He's in that conversation. Josh Farmer. I don't love the 3rd round nose guard value with where they sit on my board. Like C.J. West is behind Collins and Alexander for me too. I have a early 4th round grade on him. Early 4th. Josh Farmer, I got a 3rd, 4th cheater, but he's like kind of a tweener. Like he's not as good as a run stopper as I want him to be. So I am worried that the defensive tackles are not going to stretch for me. That is my concern. Elijah Arroyo, though, is the pick here by the Denver Broncos. So a tight end off the board. I actually like Arroyo a lot. I think he is a better player than Harold Fannin, so I like that pick from Petey. And then Arroyo at 51. Tate Ratledge went 50 to Seattle. And then I was right, Chris. Tyler for Seattle did take 2 offensive linemen. He took Jared Wilson at pick 52 overall. So Ratledge, the guard, Arroyo, the tight end. It's a double booking of Georgia players along the offensive line at pick 52. Excuse me. So Bucks are on the clock. This is a sim pick. They're going to snipe one of my corners. I'm convinced of it. I'm convinced they're going to take one of my corners. I can feel it coming in my bones. I also got to be patient because I got 20-something picks still on the clock. I have to be patient. The guys I want aren't going to get there. Just got to hope that they wait a little bit. Last 4 picks, Tyreek Williams at Ohio State to the Bengals. Tate Ratledge out of Georgia to Seattle. Elijah Arroyo, the tight end, out of Miami to the Denver Broncos. And then another Georgia player. Back-to-back. Tate Ratledge and Jared Wilson go the guard and the center. I actually love that for Seattle. They are so bad on the interior. Double dipping, I think makes sense. I think that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. So Tampa, pick 53, and then Green Bay, LA are back-to-back sim picks. So we could get some rapid fire. I think we are getting some rapid fire sim picks here based on what I'm seeing right now there, Chris. Don't push it because it go to 53, not 55. So 53 is Darius Alexander off the board, the Toledo defensive lineman. That's BPA for me, pretty much. That's a really about top 50 player there. Goes to Tampa. Landon Jackson out of Arkansas goes to the Green Bay Packers. They want edge help. I think that's fair. And then Jack Besh, the wide receiver, goes to the Chargers. That's actually a good fit. He's a good blocker. I like that fit for LA. Again, I'm glad I took a receiver early because it would not have been good for me value-wise. Because I would have been hesitant to take Jack Besh at 44, but he was not going to make it to 76 with the way the draft's gone. So Alexander, Jackson, Jack Besh, the last 3 picks here. 3 technique out of Toledo. Landon Jackson is an edge out of Arkansas. He tested way better than I thought he was going to. He's a tough eval for me. Like I didn't like him that much, and I thought he was stiff. And then he tested great, and I'm like, I kind of don't know what to do with him now. I have a 3rd on him, and I that's one of I've got a list of guys. Like once I'm done with all the positions, I'm going to go back and be like, hey, what's the final call here? Like make up your mind. Got ish in my notes. Got to go back and check all the issues out and eval them again. So Jack Besh out of to the Chargers there. We are getting near the end of the 2nd round. So I've taken receiver and running back so far. What position do you want to draft in round 3? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. So far, we've taken Tedero McMillan and Travion Henderson. Round 3, what do you guys want? I see a lot of DT in corner. I'm on the exact same page. But again, the top DTs who are left. Let's go down and have this conversation here. Alfred Collins, big fan of his game. That one, I'm so in on. Perfect fit for what they need. I just think he's going to be off the board. CJ West, I think he's a nose tackle. Not the biggest, but I think he can hold up there. I have like a third, fourth on him. That's not the best value. Joshua Farmer, I don't think is a good enough run stopper for his size. He should be better. Omar Norman Lott is a 3 technique. They literally did not ask him to do stuff on the outside. Against run. He can't do it. He can't do it. I have Deion Walker out of Kentucky in the 3rd round. I do. It is a late 3rd round grade. I also think he might be better not actually playing nose guard and doing like fat Eric Armstead stuff, where like he kind of plays a bit further away because he plays so tall. I think it's going to cause some issues. That's kind of like my concern. So what position do you guys want in the 3rd round? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Saw some votes for safety. I am curious how this board ends up falling, but Xavier Watts is off the board. That is my next best safety out of Notre Dame. He goes to the Buffalo Bills. Love that pick for Buffalo. I would consider Andrew Makuba because I wonder if you could play him at nickel. Like, I wonder if you could do that. That would be in consideration for me at 76. Kevin Winston, I think, is a pure deep safety. I don't hate that idea, but I think you've got bigger needs and you should have similar players who are available. I would consider Andrew Makuba, and I'd try to play him at nickel there. That'd be my guess. So go to pick 56 here because I missed that one. No, sorry. Pick 56 was Xavier Watts. Carolina at pick 57 has taken Savone Revel, the cornerback out of East Carolina. So one of my ideal options there are off the board. So my preferred target list is getting thinner and thinner, even though there's a lot of guys that I know they're not going to take. So Carolina has taken Savone Revel. I didn't think he was going to make it that far. We're at pick 76. We got a long way to go before we can pull that one off. We got a long way, so I didn't buy that one. I got 2 corners that I got no doubt take them, and then a bunch of guys I'm very intrigued by. So Houston at pick 58 is now on the clock. Could they go offensive line maybe, or do they go back to defensive tackle? I could see that being the case. Savone Revel, love that pick for Carolina. Stays kind of Carolina, East Carolina. Houston took Matthew Golden earlier. Now they are on the clock at pick 58. It is offensive line. It is indeed Ariante Ursary, the offensive tackle out of Minnesota. Look, Houston needs offensive line help. That makes some sense to me. I think that's fulfilling some needs there. I like it. By the way, news of the day. We will eventually break this down in depth. The timing literally could not be any worse. Hakeem Adeniji has signed with the Dallas Cowboys. That is I haven't seen any contractual details. I'll check here in a second. But that's going to be a 1-year deal. Little to no guaranteed money. As we sit here filming, I have not actually seen the contract details for the original signing of. I'm looking at the notes here. I'm actually not missing any news on the signings. For the original signing of Sadiq Charles. Haven't seen any contract stuff yet. Probably have to wait a week for that too, given their mindsets. So, what position do you want to draft in round 3? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. And we'll get to Andrew Edwards' super chat here in just a second, so stay tuned for that one. Ravens on the clock at pick. Who's the best Tennessee player left on the board? Dylan Sampson the pick here? Got to be Dylan Sampson, right? Probably the best available. Or Omar Norman Lott going to be the pick here? Go full homer again? Whatever. Andrew Edwards used him like a fat Micah. They're going to blitz from linebacker. Who the heck is blocking a fast 50-pound linebacker in a running start? Picking up lineup everywhere on the offensive line. I don't think he can't do that. He can't blitz from linebacker. They dropped him into coverage some in short hook zones, but he doesn't have that level of burst to do it from linebacker. He's on one hand, he's kind of like a rare human at his size with the way he moves, but it's coming off the back injury. He scares me, but I'm also super intrigued. Like the 2023 version, I would have taken him at 44 and not even thought twice about it because he wouldn't have been there. This year's guy looked bad. So I don't know what to do with him. I am scare-roused with him, but he is on the list in round 3. He's almost fallen into the category of like someone should take him because I want to see what he can do. I just don't know if I want to be the team that does that type of deal. All right, Jonah Savanaia is the pick in round 2 out of Arizona. That is the offensive guard who has been taken. We have another edge off the board in round 3. We have Braden Swinson, who has been taken by the Detroit Lions. Let me get some additional edges to consider for the Cowboys. I don't love this. If you want to go to the top edges on the board here for me, Chris, just to make sure we're covering off all our bases here. Yeah. So Commanders' pick is in as well. That is Kevin Winston Jr., the safety out of Penn State. Couple top players. There's actually a lot of guys. I'm going to have to seriously consider edge in round 3. Because there's a lot of players I like here. I am not as high on Jordan Birch. It's probably not in the cards for me. Femi Oladejo out of UCLA is an intriguing prospect. Princely Umanmielen, Josiah Stewart, both highly intriguing, actually. Ashton Gelati, it's a little bit early for Baron Sorrell. Oladejo is a unique prospect. A lot of it comes down to, do you want the pass rusher or the edge setter? Because there's not really a lot of good edge setters left right now. So 61 is Kevin Winston, the safety out of Penn State. Best available, Carson Schlesinger, Zaire Thomas, Benjamin Morrison, Jackson Dart is there. Alfred Collins, Marcus Bowe, Alfred Collins, Jalen Milroe, Emory Jones, Darian Porter, DJ Giddens, the running back out of Kansas State, Jalen Knoll at Iowa State. I like him a lot. I think there's been a lot of receivers who should have gone after him. Jordan Birch is the edge. Femi Oladejo, who was a linebacker turned edge out of UCLA. Wyatt Millum, Terrence Ferguson, Anthony Belton. Those guys don't really move the needle for me. There are edges, though, and I might have to more seriously consider edge with the guys that are on the board. My main problem here is I think a lot of these edges, Josiah Stewart, Femi Oladejo, mostly, Princely Umanmielen, I don't think they are the greatest edge setters. Like they're not great against the run, and that's kind of what I want. Is I kind of want somebody to set the edge better against the run. Jack Sawyer is there, though. And Jack Sawyer would fit that mold. So I have him as an asterisk of like someone I definitely have my eye on. Unfortunately, bad news, Alfred Collins is off the board. The defensive tackle was just taken by the Buffalo Bills. So Kevin Winston goes to the Commanders. Alfred Collins goes here to the Bills in round 2, pick 62. So the Chiefs are now on the clock. Hey, I'll be honest, guys. If Carson Schlesinger somehow falls to me in the 3rd, I have to take him. I don't think he's going to. I would be pretty shocked, but I have to do it. He's like that's too good a value for me. That's way too good a value. So. Alfred Collins, the dreams are dead. I didn't think he was going to get there. Chiefs now on the clock here at 23. as there is I think a strong pick by Tyler Jones. Jalen Knoll, the wide receiver out of Iowa State, is the pick here. Because for me, like these linebackers, by the way, I got like Knight and Paul like in the third or fourth, like late third, early fourth. Like I just don't. There's just a massive gap there between Schlesinger and everybody else. So let's go through the last couple picks here. With Alfred Collins, the most recent submitted one out of Buffalo. I can go back before that. So Collins goes to the Bills, Winston to the Commanders, Jonah Savanaia to the Cardinals to the Ravens from Arizona, as I somehow flipped the college and NFL team. Braden Swinson, the edge from LSU, to the Detroit Lions, which I don't hate, but a little surprised Jack Sawyer sliding so far. Like that one is kind of like maybe. Like I didn't think he'd make it to 76. I kind of got you there. So Jalen Knoll is the pick for the Chiefs, round 2, pick 63. Maybe hot take. I think he's the better pick than Jaden Higgins, his teammate at Iowa State. That is an electric slot receiver who can do some like Z stuff. Like think Tyler Lockett. Like that's the type of guy I think you can end up getting here. So Jalen Knoll to the Chiefs at round 2, pick 63. We are almost done with round 2. Who do you want to draft in the third? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. We will go through the best available here in a little bit. We've kind of been doing that. I got a couple corners I got my eye on. I don't know if they're going to get that far for me. We'll see. But I think they can have some good stuff. We'll see. Final Eagles pick is in. Let's build a grade the draft so far, and we'll go through the picks, grade the draft so far for the Cowboys, recap the best available. Anthony Belton out of NC State is the pick for Philadelphia. That's early for me. There's I think tackle guard convertibility, large human being. I've got him a little bit later than pick 64, so that one is like sweet. That's fine. Like I'm not gonna cry about that one. I think the dark horse pick from right now is take Andrew Makuba and try him at nickel a little bit. That might be my dark horse deviation in the end. So let's recap the second round picks here. If you can go full screen, that'd be great too. By the way, if that's pulling, so I can stretch a little bit. Who do you want in round 3? Let me know in the comments of today's show. We'll recap the second rounders. As a reminder, I took Teteroa McMillan in round 1 for the Cowboys. Caleb Johnson goes to the Browns with the opening pick of the second round. Emeka Ibuka, round 2, pick 34. Kyle Williams, round 2, pick 35 to Tennessee, reunites with Cam Ward. Josh Simmons out of Ohio State to Jacksonville. That was a sim pick, by the way. Raiders, love that pick. Tyler Booker. Kind of glad the Raiders don't have a third-round pick or as many. Not their other third-round pick because I think they're going to take a corner. That's my concern is they're going to snipe me on one of these corners. Trey Harris out of Ole Miss goes to New England. Josh Connerly goes to Chicago. Mason Taylor goes to the Saints. Quinshon Judkins to the Bears. So 4 running backs off the board before the Cowboys pick. TJ Sanders out of South Carolina goes to the Jets. Maxwell Harrison goes to the 49ers. Travion Henderson out of Ohio State. Nick Scorton out of Texas A&M to the Colts. JT Tuimoloau out of Ohio State. Elekeo Manor to the Cardinals. Donovan Jackson to the Miami Dolphins. Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State. Tate Ratledge to the Seahawks. They also took Jared Wilson. Elijah Arroyo to Denver. Darius Alexander to the Bucks. Landon Jackson to Green Bay. Jack Besh out of TCU to the Chargers. Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame to Buffalo. Savone Revel out of ECU stays in Carolina, quote unquote, goes to the Panthers. Ariante Ursary goes to the Texans. Jonah Savnaea goes to the Ravens. Braden Swinson to the Lions. Kevin Winston out of Penn State goes to the Commanders. Alfred Collins to Buffalo. Sniped me there. Jalen Knoll at Iowa State goes to the Chiefs. Anthony Belton out of NC State goes to the Eagles. So the Cowboys picks then. To recap these ones, in case you're just now tuning into our Chat Sports-led mock draft, the hosts of all the channels here end up making the picks. Tedero McMillan and Travion Henderson were the selection. So grade the Cowboys mock draft so far. These two picks, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. A, B, C, D, or F. Clarity is, I think, required based on the comment section right now. Matthew Golden is 5'11". He is 5'11", 191. That is what he measured in at the NFL Combine. Just for clarity on the size, if that matters at all. So Giants now on the clock. Round 3, pick 65. Do they go quarterback? Does Marshy go quarterback here, guys? I'm very curious what he does. Grade the mock draft. A, B, let's go to the best available. This is ESPN's best available, by the way. A, B, C, D, or F for the mock draft. Best available, Carson Schwarzenegger. If any of these 3 top guys somehow get to me, I'm taking them. After that, I got to figure stuff out. And that's when it gets a little bit more dicey for me. That's when I don't really know what I would end up doing. It's a little bit tough. Jackson Dart, Marcus Bowe, Jalen Milroe. I'm not taking Emory Jones. Darian Porter is interesting, but I would take Quincy Riley over him. I would take Jacob Parrish over him. I would take Noah Williams over him. Because I think those guys are better corners. Porter's the better athlete. I think those guys are better corners. And I haven't really talked about Noah Williams that much, or Parrish, or Riley at all, which I would get to do for the first time, really. Other best available, DJ Giddens, Jordan Birch, Femi Oladejo. I'm surprised Jack Sawyer is so far down. That one is very much in play for me. But I think I got to go defense here. Omar Norman-Lott, by the way, is the pick here for the Giants. Round 3, pick 65. Norman-Lott is an interesting prospect. As a pass rusher, he's very good. He did a good job getting pressures. As a run stopper, his teams didn't put him out there. They did not do it. Which I found it would just be me on there, by the way. In that case. Yeah. Like, he got a lot of pressures. He did a good job of getting after it. The layering is wrong, though. It's just like, he's unique. But he's just not... I don't trust him to be a 3-down player right now. And that's like my main concern. That's my main concern there. All right, round 3, pick 66 is also in. Joshua Farmer is off the board. The Florida State defensive tackle. I guess I'm really not going to take a DT at all then. It's just like outside chance I would have considered these guys. I think actually this is probably about the range Farmer ends up going. His traits should mean he should be better than what he has been so far. He should be better. He's not better yet, and that's what bothers me. He's just not there yet. He's got huge arms, massive wingspan, and he doesn't play up to his size enough, and that stuff concerns me. All right, Max Finnegan, $5 super chat. Hear me out. Giants should have number 2 overall pick and take Jalen Milroe. I would love it, because that'd be hilarious. They're definitely not going to, though. Like, there's no way that they do that. There's absolutely no way. That is not their preference at all for how they do things. Even though I think it'd be super fun and really entertaining, and great for the Cowboys because he's not worth it at all. It's just not going to happen. So, all right, recent picks. The Browns have made their selection at pick number 67 after back-to-back defensive tackles. Omar Norman Lott, Joshua Farmer, Benjamin Morrison off the board. Round 3, pick 67. So at this point, I'm down to 2 guys that I think would be like crazy steals, like no-brainers, and I feel like Mitch is going to take one of them right now with the Raiders at pick 68. Like, I feel like that's what's going to happen here. So Browns have taken Benjamin Morrison. I think that's great value at 67 despite the hip injury out of Notre Dame. Raiders on the clock now at pick 68. And we will have to wait and see what the board looks like. Schlesinger, Azarie Thomas. I'm definitely not taking Jackson Dart. Like, it's not even in conversation. Like, I don't know if any of the QBs are going to go here, by the way. Like, I think it's not going to happen. I don't think anyone's going to do it. And I wonder if the sim picks it at some point. Next sim pick is Jacksonville. Did the Saints take Dart in the 3rd round? Does Trace? No, because Trace took Shadur. Never mind. Take that back. I'm stupid. I don't know. And there it is. Carson Schlesinger is the pick to the Raiders in round 3. That is I think Mitch is crushing this one. To go Genty, Booker, Schlesinger, awesome pick right there. So 2 of the best 3 have gone off the board in the last 2 picks. Carson Schlesinger is the selection in round 3 at pick number 68. Cowboys are getting closer, but we are getting thinner on the available players here. Patriots on the clock, pick number 69. Everyone spam nice. Everyone spam nice. I am highly tempted by Andrew Makuba and go rogue and say, there's my nickel corner for a year, and I'll put him at safety the year after that. I am highly tempted by that, actually. Tempted by Andrew Makuba, tempted by Deion Walker, tempted by Jack Sawyer as well. There will be a corner that I have graded in the 3rd round. There will be. It's a question of, does he get there or not? And I don't know if he's going to. I've got Azarie Thomas, I've got Darian Porter, I've got Noel Williams, I got Quincy Earl, I got Jacob Parrish, I'm super high on too. One of those corners will be there. How things play out the next half dozen picks, TBD. Patriots pick is in. Cam Scattaboo off the board at number 69 overall. That's a fun one for New England. Cam Scattaboo, round 3, pick 69. That's fun. That's also somehow Scattaboo at 69 just makes sense. Just makes sense. Like, that's fun for me. So, what? How about this mock draft sim pick? Sim is drunk. The sim hates Jacksonville, man. Xavier Restrepo. This is how I know we're using the PFF sim behind the scenes, by the way. Restrepo, absolutely not. I'm not spending a top 70 pick on a guy that ran a 4.8 40. I refuse to do it. No. I got Jalen Royals is right there. Taking another slot receiver? Stop it. Hate that pick for Jacksonville. Great news for Dallas. Great news as far as I'm concerned. Great news. 71 the Saints, 72 the Bears, 73 the Jets, 74 Carolina, 75 San Francisco. These next 3 picks, I'm very curious with what happens because there is a chance that I'm not going to say it because I'm just going to jinx it. I'm just going to jinx it. I think Trace is in shambles that he couldn't take Cam Scattaboo at 70. I think he's in shambles. I think he's got to go. He should take Azarie Thomas right now. Like that's what he should do. Like take the best corner left on the board, replace Marshawn Lattimore. He's taking Jalen Royals from the for the Saints, the wide receiver. Okay, I actually like Royals a lot. I think he is I think he's better than multiple of the receivers who have gone off the board. He's a very different type. He's built like kind of more of like and plays kind of like the Debo Malachi Corley role, but like he doesn't have the running ability. He's like what I hoped Anthony Miller was going to end up being. Like that's what I see in Jalen Rose at Utah State. I have a 2nd/3rd round grade on him. So Saints take Jalen Royals at 71. The Bears on the clock now at pick 72. What does Chicago end up doing here? They took Mike Green, and they took, who was their other 2nd-round pick? They went Josh Connerly. So do they go running back? I think he's going to let it roll or going to let it run back with Tyreek Stevenson and Jalen Johnson, and they just re-signed Kyler Gordon. So I'm very curious what he ends up doing here. That is Harrison on the clock here for the Chicago Bears at pick 71. Then it is the Jets. Then it is the Carolina Panthers. Then it is the San Francisco 49ers. And then it is us, the Dallas Cowboys here in the 3rd round. I am excited to see how things play out here for the rest of the way. Oh, Harrison took my idea. Or the idea I was playing around with. He has taken Andrew Makuba, the safety out of Texas. So Bears go safety. That's a long-term replacement for Kevin Byard and can do some nickel stuff if they need him to in the short term. So Jets, back-to-back sim picks are coming up here at 73 and at 74. Are the Jets going to screw us here, Chris? Are they going to take the corner I want? Because they took Armand Membu in round 1. And now it is the Jets on the clock here at 73. Makuba goes to the Bears, round 3, pick 72. Jets and Panthers, damn it, they did it. Jets took Azareye'h Thomas. Carolina took Princely Umanmielen. So that is about as bad of a combination as I was expecting there. Jets snipe me on Azareye'h Thomas. Go to the best available here. Just straight up best available here, Chris. That is not what I wanted at all. That is frustrating. Couple quarterbacks are the best available on ESPN, which, obviously we're straight up just not going to do. Darian Porter, who I am not as high on as others. Let's go to the top corners here. Actually, let's do that. God, what brutal breaks here. Brutal breaks. Noel Williams I have in the 3rd. Quincy Riley I also have in the 3rd. I might. That's a really tempting one. Darian Porter I have is a 3rd as well. Noel Williams. We haven't really talked much about Noel Williams before. Haven't really done that at all. I might. I'm very tempted by that one. I might just do Noel Williams because we have not had a chance to discuss him very much. But Jack Sawyer is still there, right? Like Jack Sawyer as a pick in the 3rd is actually very tempting. I cannot trade down. I would love to trade down. He's an edge. I don't need an edge as badly, though. I need a corner. In the moment, I am currently leaning towards Noel Williams, the cornerback out of Cal. Because I have a 3rd-round grade on him. He is the highest of my 3 3rd-round grades that are on the board right now. I love Jacob Parrish, but I think I'll lean Noel Williams. We haven't talked about Noel Williams yet on the show. So I think I'm going to lean Noel Williams here. Unless the Niners just totally screw me up here. Because he hasn't turned 23 yet. He's got 14 interceptions. This is just my type of corner. He's not an elite burner. He only ran a 4.5. but that's fast enough as far as I'm concerned. He is also willing to tackle. Then I think that matters for this team in particular. So I am leaning towards Noah Williams. We will see. I can't take Deion Walker here. That's too early. I think Noel can do. I think he's mostly an outside corner, but I can kick Deron Bland to the inside for half a year or whatever I need him to do. I think that the physicality maybe gives him a chance to do some nickel stuff, but I think he's more of an outside corner in the end. That's my vibe. I'm really pissed Azareye'h Thomas went to the friggin' Jets in the sim. That's so brutal. That is just I am so mad about that one. That is not at all what I wanted. So pick is in here for the 49ers. Marcus Bowe, the offensive lineman out of Purdue, is off the board here. I'm not taking Deion Walker. I can't bring myself to do it. I can't. I'm too scare roused of that one. I would be able, I promise you, to get a defensive tackle in the 5th round. I know there would be one there. I know there would be one there. I'm not going Darian Porter. I don't need a 6th-year corner who's played corner for 1 year. That's not my type of player there. I would take Alfred Collins. He's gone. I take Azareye'h Thomas. He's gone. So I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to take Noel Williams, the corner out of Cal. 6 foot 3/8 inches, 199 pounds, just under that 31-inch arm measurement. Although at his pro day, he actually clocked in at 31 1/4. And given the testing issues this year, I feel like the pro day one will end up being used more than anything else. Some of the best ball skills, everyone drink, in this class. 14 career interceptions. He had one against Jaden Daniels, by the way, against UNLV, for UNLV against Arizona State all those years ago. He had 7 interceptions this year. He also housed a kick return this past year. 1 touchdown on 12 attempts for 331 yards. 50 starts in his collegiate career. A ton of pass breakups as well. And was also a pretty good tackler this past year. Didn't miss very many of those. He is a willing tackler, which sometimes maybe you don't have the best numbers here. He worked as an outside corner. I think the overall quickness, the 4.25 short shuttle, the 6.97, 3-cone was also pretty good. I think he has most of what you are looking for if you wanted to try him at the nickel corner spot. I don't think he's a top-level athlete. That's kind of like the biggest knock on him. But he still ran a 4.25 shuttle and a 6.97 3-cone. That's not at all bad. That checks off the boxes there in the end. I really wanted Azareye'h Thomas. I'm not going to lie. I really, really wanted him. I have a 3rd-round grade on Noah Williams. I got him in the 3rd round. Getting a guy that can play on the inside, can play on the outside, locks up a corner spot, which I desperately needed. For me, I was a bit disappointed I didn't find the value of Azareye'h Thomas there or Benjamin Morrison. But I have a 3rd-round grade on Noel Williams. I know there are people who have him higher. I'm pretty sure Brian Broaddus is super high on Noel Williams. Again, I'm not as high in this. I know Dane has him 66 on his board, if you happen to care about that. So for me, I am securing the best available corner on my board that I think does offer some press man ability, even though he is a little bit grabby. I think not the ideal pick, but that's how the draft goes sometimes. I got a starter. I see Jace can help on special teams. Yeah, he has 600-plus career special team snaps. So, yes, he can help you on special teams a lot, too. The dream, the impossible scenario was Azareye'h Thomas would have been the pick. But off the board, and there was just a big glut of 3rd-rounders at corner. I took the best one left there. So, to recap, Teteroa McMillan out of Arizona, Travion Henderson out of Ohio State, and Noel Williams, the cornerback out of Cal. You can call it a reach, guys. He's going to go in this area. Like, he's going to go in the 3rd round at the latest. Unless there's some unknown off-the-field stuff, that's where he's going to go. All right, recent picks that have come through. Jordan Birch out of Oregon to the Patriots. The Sim took Jackson Dart. The Sim took Jackson Dart for the Arizona Cardinals. 79 is Houston. 80 is Indy. Harrison just said $5 to anyone who screws Sperry before 83. Well, who's his? Let me pull up his quarterback rankings here. Hold on. Oh, my God. He's got Tyler Shuck as his number 3 QB. He wants Shuck in the third. That's what he wants. It's up to you, Tyler. It's up to Tyler to screw Sperry and take Shuck before pick 83. Texans on the clock here at 79. Indy, Cincinnati, Seattle, and then Pittsburgh. And then we'll play this up here. 79 is Houston. We're waiting on Jeremy to make that pick. Cullen says he'll pick for the Colts and take Shuck. Be pretty funny. In general, I don't understand the love for Tyler Shuck. Like, I just don't see it at all. I am so confused by it. It took him 7 years to be good. 6, whatever. Like, he was out there throwing to friggin' Jawan Johnson, who's on his 3rd contract in the NFL. He's older than Trevor Lawrence. Like, no. I don't understand it at all. I don't. Noah Williams was my pick here at 76. Wyatt Millum, the selection here by the Houston Texans, round 3, pick 79. Colts at 80. The Bengals at 81 are about to be on the clock here. Both of those will be sim picks. Make Sperry take Milroe. Because I have Sperry's, this is the Steelers pick, by the way, coming up here. I have his list here. His top 10 quarterbacks are as follows. Oh, the Bengals got Jack Sawyer. That is so perfect. He's got him as Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Tyler Shuck, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe as his top 5. So Wyatt Millum here goes to the Houston Texans, round 3, pick 79. Round 3, pick 80. Another linebacker for Indy. The Sim is drunk with the Colts. Demetrius Knight out of South Carolina, round 3, pick 80 here. Jack Sawyer, the Ohio State edge, goes to the Bengals at pick 81. Low-key, the Sim has been god-awful for Indy and has been awesome for Cincinnati. Bengals have crushed it. The Colts have not. It's been a disaster class here. So round 3, pick 82, the Seahawks are on the clock right now. Harrison, our Bears Now host, has offered $5 to anyone who can screw over Jack Sperry before the Steelers go on the clock here, which would be Seattle, the last pick, before he takes Tyler Shuck, which I don't think is even good. I don't think he's good at all. He's Gen Z Brandon Whedon. That's all he is. It's nonsense. So Seattle on the clock here. Got a couple minutes on that. Let's recap the Cowboys picks we have made so far. You can grade the mock draft in the pin poll, by the way. Grade the pick of Noel Williams first and foremost. Tedero McMillan, round 1, pick 12. Trayvon Henderson, round 2, pick 44. Noel Williams, round 3, pick 76. 43% voting B. That's the majority, and that's what I would give it to, frankly. It's not. We were 2 picks away from Azarie Thomas. It's not elite level value. It's like the proper value. So for me, that's a B. So that's about what I would have it as well. That's where I would have it. Honestly, if to be frank, Daniel, if you're going from an A to a C minus, after only the third round pick you have issues with, I don't understand your grading scale. That doesn't make any sense to me. You don't have to like the pick. That's fine. That's not a big deal at all. Like that does not bother me. Like, it's fine. I get that he's not a household name, but I think I'm actually lower on him than probably a lot of the people are out there. But like, to be out because of the third round pick when you yourself admit how much you loved the earlier pick, I don't really get that, frankly. So grade the mock draft, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Grade that mock draft, A, B, C, D, or F. Someone asked about the Noel Williams comp, and I got to pull back up my notes on him again here. Oh, Tyler's made a terrible pick for Seattle. He's gonna let Sperry get his guy. Heartbreaking development there. He is taking Tez Johnson. I am not. It's a bad pick in the sense of, like, I wanted him to do something silly and take Tyler Shuck and screw over Sperry. That's actually probably not that bad of a pick, all things considered. But it's just, it'd be funnier. It'd be funnier if he did the funniest thing ever instead. So Tez Johnson at 82 here to the Seahawks, and then Steelers on the pick at 83. Coming up here in just a little bit. So grade that mock draft, A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to end the poll, and I'm going to do the new board here. See if I can get this all in here. Tedoroa McMillan, Travion Henderson. Oh, it's going to fit. Nice. And Noel Williams. A, B, C, D, F. There we go. Oh, Sperry took Jalen Milroe. I think he's better than Shuck. That is... So Milroe is the pick here for the Steelers. So Shuck is not the pick. It's Milroe for Pittsburgh. Sperry goes back on his own word. He had Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Tyler Shuck, and he's pivoted to Jalen Milroe. Unbelievable. What a L's in the chat for Sperry. I think I would take Milroe over Shuck because I don't want the old quarterback who had one good year and has limited physical skill set traits. But, like, Jesus Christ, Chris. Good Lord. Chris just did something in the group chat that I cannot share publicly. You had that so quick, too. You had that unbelievably quick and way to go. I hope you enjoy hell. I hope you enjoy hell. So Milroe to the Steelers. Everyone loves it. Once the first laughing emoji came in, everybody else loved it. Oh, my goodness. So Milroe to the Steelers, not his higher graded quarterback, Tyler Shuck. Kyle Kennard out of South Carolina goes round 3, pick 84 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Denver is now on the clock here at pick 85. The votes coming in, 50% say A. Jeremy just has a photo of a kid peeing down his leg when the Steelers were on the clock. Unbelievable. He looks so shook. He looks so shook with the Milroe selection. What is he doing? Everyone, behind the scenes, everyone is ripping our Steelers host, Jack Sperry, right now. Ripping him. Can't wait to bring it up on air during our actual draft coverage here. Grade the mock draft, A, B, C, D, or F. 51% say A, 36% say B, 8% say C, 5% say D or F. I think that's fair. That's in between that A-B range. Yeah, that's probably what I do if it happened in real life. I would have loved somebody better in the third for me, but the board just did not cooperate. It's how it goes sometimes. Steelers in round 3 take Jalen Milroe, Kyle Kennard in round 4, Ty Hamilton off the board here to the Denver Broncos at pick 85. And then we've got 3 straight Sims that are about to flow in picks. The Chargers, Bucks, and Jags are all going to be Sim picks here. People are ripping Sperry for that pick. Oh, that's funny. TMZ says Tom drafted QB. Why would I do that? So make a shitty one? I can say it now because we're not going to be actually live and not as many people see it. This quarterback class sucks. It is not good. I have early second on Cam Ward, mid second on Shadur Sanders. I don't have another pure day 2 grade again. That's it. Milroe, Shuck, Dart, these guys are early 4th round guys. It's just not good. It's not. Milroe might be a running back. He's got the best traits of them all. Ewers can't complete a pass beyond 20 yards half the time. It's bad. I don't like the class at all. I don't like it at all. So we're waiting on the Sim picks here for the Chargers, Packers, and the Jags. Then Houston will be on the clock as everyone is ripping Sperry in the chat for taking Jalen Milroe and not going with Tyler Shuck like he has on his own personal board. So waiting on the other 3 Sim picks here. Ty Hamilton was the most recent one by the Denver Broncos. We'll play this out for the rest of the 3rd round. There will be no day 3 ones. We will cut it off there. Mostly because at that point we get to like a 5-hour live show, and it's just going to be too much. Be beyond 5 hours there. Josiah Stewart, does the Sim know it's Jim Harbaugh? Like the Sim knows, it seems like, right? Josiah Stewart off the board here. You can go to the other one. It's fine. Yeah, it doesn't have to show all 4 at once. That's okay. Josiah Stewart to the Chargers, the edge out of Michigan, which I think worked out pretty well. As a transfer from Coastal Carolina, kind of a weird body type, play style I love. The measurables are not elite, but it's intriguing. Femi Oladejo out of UCLA goes to the Packers. Darian Porter, who is a really, really unique prospect in this year's class. That is the Iowa State cornerback. Porter was a wide receiver initially at Iowa State. He's just under 6'3", 195 pounds, 33-plus inch arms. He is already 24 years old, has played a ton of special teams, ran a 4.3 40-yard dash. Hardly got thrown at this year for Iowa State, but he's a bad tackler. He hasn't faced a lot of cover. Like he is a raw prospect at corner who has faced 41 career targets, which is like a season for most teams, not a career like it was at Iowa State. He's got 1 year as a starter at corner. I thought he was tight in the hips, but he tested super well. This is a boom or bust prospect. This guy could be a really good number 1 corner, or he is like out of the NFL in like 3 years. It's like it just doesn't work. Not out of the NFL. He'll carve out a role as a special teamer at least. This is the Tariq Woolen comp, like, is kind of fair. Who went way earlier than he should have as well. I have a 3rd round grade on him. I wanted someone with a little bit more ball production, which ratio-wise Porter has, but I didn't love the rawness concerns me. Like he should be a good press corner. He hasn't done it yet. They just kind of didn't throw his way very much. He is a very unique prospect this year. Very, very unique. What is your confidence level in the Cowboys as drafters? 1 to 10 in the comments section of today's show. Let me know in the comments. Texans coming up here on the clock, then breaking down the remainder of these picks with the Texans 89, Rams at 90, the Ravens at 91, Seattle again, New Orleans again, Cleveland again, Chiefs, Eagles, Then we get into the comp picks. Minnesota, Miami, New York, San Francisco, Rams, and the Lions. All coming up here in a little bit. Let me check this here. One to 10. With Femi Oladejo as the third-round pick for the Packers. Jags at 88, taking Darian Porter. Thoughts, Chris, what are your unbiased thoughts on what I've done so far for the Cowboys? Unbiased thoughts.
I thought the first 2 picks were amazing.
Yeah.
I don't really know much about the third guy.
Fair.
But the first 2 picks are just plug-and-play players. They make your offense a whole lot better. And it helps Dak out a lot, too. Because he's not just looking for CD. He's at least got other options. And then you got Travion Henderson, who you can hit out of the backfield as well. And he's got that explosive burst that you always talk about that the Cowboys just haven't had the last couple of years.
Been missing it, yeah. All right, Jags pick is in. Texans pick is in. Terrence Ferguson to the Texans, the Oregon tight end. Our Rams picker, Jackson Durham, sprinted to the podium and took Tyler Shuck out of Louisville. Which I think that's almost a troll pick of Sperry, basically. Like, that's what that feels like to me. A troll pick of Sperry. So the Rams take Tyler Shuck at 90. Terrence Ferguson off the board at 89. Ravens at 91 are then on the clock here. Any Tennessee players that are left? Dylan Sampson about to do the pick here for Joey, you think? I could see that being the case. I could see it being the case here. I don't know why Emory Jones is so high on the ESPN big board. I really don't. In the end, I guess, by the way, if with hindsight, we could have just not taken a running back in round 2. Like, we would have had our pick of all the others, which I'm not upset about, because I would have taken. If Harrison was there, it would have been a much tougher conversation. If Harrison was there, that was the guy I had my eye on for the Cowboys in the second. So Durham and the Rams take Tyler Shuck out of Louisville. Sperry is apparently just defending himself right now on air. Like, he's just getting roasted on our Steelers channel because he has Tyler Shuck as the third quarterback, and then went ahead and surprised everybody by taking Jalen Milroe instead, which I think is the better pick. But that's not how he views it. It's not his board.
I think that's how the Steelers view it, though. Like, everything that I've seen anyways, it feels like the Steelers are pretty high on him in terms of, second, third round guy anyways.
It's crazy. Speaking of Kobe Bryant, by the way, he is the pick here out of Kansas by the Ravens at round 3, pick number 91. So Kobe Bryant is the pick there. So Seattle on the clock now at pick number 91. Then we will get into the remainder of our previously planned show today. Let's see what the Seahawks will do. Tyler was upset about that pick. He was upset. He said, "Damn it, Joey," for the Ravens sniping Kobe Bryant. Elite name, by the way. Elite name. So Seattle on the pick here at number 92. And we'll go to 102 and round things out in the third round. I think let's just jump right into the cuts, because we kind of gotta ride a little bit there. In fact, let's not do the Q&A today. We'll just skip the Q&A just so we can get to the news cut out sooner. We'll save that for later. That's just going to be timing dependent there. So Seattle, round 3, pick number 92. Tyler Jones wanted apparently to take Kobe Bryant. Did not get it. 56% voting A. I can live with that. Tyler took Quincy Riley. That was probably the other one I would have made. I also would love Jacob Parrish. Like, at that point, all those guys are like in the same bucket to me. So that's kind of like my mindset there. Confidence level in the Cowboys as drafters, 1 to 10 is your scale. Kobe Bryant goes to the Baltimore Ravens. Quincy Riley is the pick here by the Seattle Seahawks. The Saints now go on the clock. Yeah. No trades, by the way. Savion Williams. You guys are going to be happy about that one. He's the pick here for the Saints. So Quincy Riley goes to Seattle. Savion Williams out of TCU goes to New Orleans. I mean, there's the new Taysom Hill. Trace is going all offense, by the way. It's kind of crazy. So Riley to Seattle, I like that pick. I think some people have him undervalued more than anything else. But I like his game. And then Savion Williams, he will never beat the Cordell Patterson allegations. He might be a running back, but he's also really tall for running back. He's not a real receiver. If you have the right coaching staff, like you will be able to have success with him with what you are able to do in kind of a gadgety type of role. He's very raw as a route runner. But like this point, back end of the third round, I like that. I'm fine with that range for him at this point of the draft. So Browns now, round 3, pick 94. Guess they're not going quarterback. Who are the best available here for me? Let's run through that. Emory Jones, DJ Giddens, CJ West, like him. Little early for me, but not by a lot. Miles Frazier. Ozzie Pillow, I think, is going to be a third-round pick. Jamari Caldwell. If I had a fourth, I'd be all over that one. Like that'd be I'm like, let's get me Jamari Caldwell if I had a fourth, but I don't. So, Aronde Gatson at 90 is very, very rich for me. Jalen Rivers, I would take Deion Walker in the fourth too. ESPN putting Isaiah Bond on there is interesting. I don't know if I can put him on the board. Like there's a lot to figure out there. Devin Neal, Chris Paul, and then Kyle McCord just went to the Cleveland Browns. He's number 100 on the ESPN board. Like, by the way, if I had my pick, I didn't go running back, I would have taken R.J. Harvey in the third. That would have been my pick. It would have been Revel or R.J. Harvey would have been my picks there if we had not taken Henderson in round 2. McCord, 94th. Out of Syracuse to the Cleveland Browns. So Savion Williams, Kyle McCord, 93, 94. The Chiefs back on the clock in round 3, pick number 95, as we will eventually pick up the pace, I'm hopeful here. Chiefs, Eagles to wrap up the regular third round pick. Vikings, Dolphins, Giants, Niners, Rams, and the Lions. Tyler's taking full homer pick here. Full homer pick, Devin Neal out of Kansas. Homer pick there by the Chiefs. I think that should be line broken somewhere, yeah. Chiefs taking Devin Neal here at the end of the third round. A little early for me, but like what the order of those third and fourth round backs go, I don't really know. I was a little surprised Henderson went off the board, frankly. I was kind of surprised by that one, or that he was there for me. And this is like one of the first backs taken since then. Kind of unexpected. That's how it goes sometimes. Devin Neal to the Chiefs, the Eagles. Who's the best Georgia player left on the board? The guards are all gone, unless you think Dylan Fairchild's really good. They got some linebackers there. Smile Mondon is there. They're not. Dane Jackson's too early. They got a bunch of like day 3 defensive linemen that I think probably end up going. So top available overall for me. We'll see what the Eagles do here at 96. I think Emory Jones is way too high. Giddens is rich at 66. CJ West is a little bit high. Frazier's probably fairly close. Ozzie Pillow, I think, is going to go in the third round. I like Jamari Caldwell a lot. Rivers at 92. That's interesting. I think that's higher than I've seen in a lot of places there. Deion Walker is the ultimate wild card. Like he could be great or he could be terrible. Scare roused on that one. So, Deion Deion Walker. Isaiah Bond is tough. And then a lot of backs here, right? R.J. Harvey, Trevor Etienne. I like Dylan Sampson a lot too. Torrey Horton, I think, is undervalued because he missed a lot of this year with an injury. So let's get to Lucid's Super Chat here. And then hopefully we get the Eagles pick in the not-too-distant future. Devin Neal, the most recent pick here by the Chiefs. Then we get the Eagles pick, and then the 6 comp picks to wrap things up, including sim picks to end with near the end with Minnesota at 97 and the Lions at 102. Lucid, if we get T-Mac and Henderson, we should be happy. They addressed those needs early, which I think can still be an A or a B grade, which I think is how the majority feel. And the people who probably didn't give it an A or a B probably just don't like McMillan or Henderson. And at that point, it's flavors of ice cream, and that's fine with me. Jacob Parrish, by the way, is the pick here out of Kansas State, the cornerback. Eagles did a good job again. I didn't love Anthony Belton in the second. That's early for me. But they got Micah Williams, and they got Jacob Parrish. So that's how it goes in the end. So let's try to – I'm inclined to agree with you as well. If you have liked our live chat sports mock draft, do me a favor, like today's video. The more normal portion of today's show will be coming up here in a little bit. We'll kind of recap. We'll compare what I did here and what ESPN did in their 3-round mock draft. So we'll compare and contrast those two kind of back and forth dueling style mock drafts. Vernon Broughton is the pick here by Minnesota at 97. Again, do you want to know how I know this was the PFF mock draft sim? This is how I know it was the PFF mock draft sim, because it was Vernon Broughton went off the board at 97 on the sim side. So Miami, 98. What have they done so far? They took Will Johnson. They took Donovan Jackson. What was their other third? I forget what they did. Should remember picks with like no time in between. It gets me a little tricky. That's all they did. That's right. That's all they did. So they got to go defensive line. They got nothing there. They have to take somebody there, whether that's Walker or best available. He's taken Shamar Turner. It's okay. I am probably not as high on Shamar Turner as others are, but I also have him like right in this 3rd, 4th round range is where we're taken. I see a lot of tweener stuff to him, but they kind of need a bit of a tweener up front. So I actually think that's good value, fine pick for the Dolphins. Giants now, round 3, pick 99. Marshall didn't take a QB. He could have taken Shadur. He didn't do it. Could have taken Milrow. Could have taken Shuck. Didn't do it. Took other players. Very curious what Marshy does here. I bet he takes a running back. I bet he takes a bigger back. Also, Scadaboo went in the 3rd. I forgot about that. So Marshall on the clock here in the 3rd, or he's going to go offensive line. One of those two. That would not be a surprise to me, given just what he likes there. We'll get to Lucid's Super Chat here momentarily. Vernon Broughton, the pick, round 3, 97. Says T-Mac is like the caramel and ice cream. Trevor Henderson is extra M&Ms to make it better. So this is a great analogy because like clearly Lucid likes caramel with ice cream and extra M&Ms. I actually don't care for either in my ice cream. But it makes it the perfect analogy. Like Lucid loves it. Other people probably don't like those two things. So what you like determines if you think it was a good pick or not. Like if you want pure speed, then you're not going to love McMillan as much. If you want a power runner, you're not going to like Henderson as much. If you want the explosive back and the big body frame and the after catch stuff, like that's all great stuff. But for me, either I'm not mad at Gold, but I'll be happy with both. I want McMillan more because he's a better receiver. I don't want to get too caught up in like I want this skill set. Like sure, you might want the M&Ms a lot in your ice cream, but if they're stale, like maybe just take a better topping that's fresh and actually tastes good. That's my mindset. Marshall's pick is in. He is taking Miles Frazier. Harrison misled everybody. Harrison tricked them. It is Miles Frazier. Sam got by Harrison saying it was going to be R.J. Harvey. Marshall has taken Miles Frazier. That's funny. Couple picks left here. The Niners on the clock, pick 100. We'll get to the super chat here from Lucid. Says, you don't like those, Tom, you are a hater. I mean, like, I don't hate M&Ms. It's just not my preferred topping. I tend to be a Reese's Pieces or Cup guy. Like that's what I'm gonna put in there. I'm just not a big M&M guy. Like caramel, it's just not my favorite. Chocolate sauce, something like that. That's my mindset. We have another beer bong to do. I need a fresh one. Drew DTX, a $50 super chat. We will get to that one here in just a second. Everyone spam Drew in the comment section of today's show. There we go. Thank you. You somehow zapped me too, which is really weird. I don't know how that one happened. Niners on the clock. We'll also get to J-Max Rise's super chat here. Let's crack open a beer bong. There we go. Drew TTX, you think we try to snag a sneaky athlete at edge in the draft, knowing both Nealon and Williams have had knee injuries and or injury problems early on in their career? Also, Taco Bell, McDonald's, curious on Chris's opinion as well. I have a lot of edges I like on not so much like round 2, but like I think there will be some guys who get pushed down this draft. Like, you know, I think Fadil Diggs is a sneaky option as you get further into day 3. I am a big fan of Antoine Powell, not their normal archetype, but that intrigues me. I bet guys like Ashton Gelati might not go in the 3rd round. You know, if you want big size, you know, Jared Ivey, I'm not as big a fan on him either. You know, John Joyner could be a sneaky day 3 pick. Just going through alphabetically of my notes right now. I think Elijah Roberts, Q Robinson are really interesting. Maybe there for you in the 5th round players. You know, Elijah Roberts is a big body that can kind of help set the edge. Q Robinson is like a borderline sleeper out of Alabama, which like never happens. I don't know if Baron Sorrell gets to in the 5th, but like that would be awesome. You know, Brainson's going to go pretty early. Amon Mielon's going to go early. FCS, if you want to go David Walker, I got him in the 5th. Knowing Jerry, they'll take Johnny Walker Jr. out of Missouri. Knowing Jerry. So, for me, it's Taco Bell. I don't know what's your thoughts on that one, Chris, if you want to chime in while I do this beer bong here.
I'll probably take McDonald's on this. I would say Taco Bell, but they got rid of the loaded grillers, and that just really bothers me.
Those were great.
So give me the 20-piece nugget every single day of the week.
I'm a Taco Bell guy. Olivia is a huge fan of the cheesy roll-up nacho fry combo. She loves that. By the way, recent picks, Charles Grant to the 49ers, round 3, 100. Dorian Strong out of Virginia Tech goes to the Rams. I think he's actually kind of an underrated player. And Jared Ivey, round 3, pick 102 to wrap up the mock draft simulation. So I appreciate that. So that's actually an interesting fit. Ivey, he's a weird tweener for me. He's a weird tweener for me in the end. Last super chat, then we'll get to the 2 other segments we have planned here for today. J-Max Rise says, I want Matthew Golden in round 2, Caleb Johnson the 2nd. See, I'm not mad about that one at all. That one I'd be fine with. Yeah, again, I prefer my combination, but like that's not bad either. Like that gives you more speed, and if you want to run outside zone stuff, that fits with Matthew Golden super well, or with Caleb Johnson extremely well. Like that's that is by no means a bad plan. Like, you do that, you're probably leaving day first rounds happy. I think that's probably fine. So appreciate that, J-Max Rise. We will get set up now for kind of the next two planned portions of today's show. We'll do kind of comparing this mock draft against ESPN mock draft that I did, or that they did. And then we'll also do the news and rumors that Cowboys signed a player today at literally the worst possible time. Genuinely could not have been any worse. It was as we began the Chat Sports mock draft, which is just brutal. So, unfortunately, the timing of that news was absolutely cocked. It was terrible. So, we'll break that down here on today's show. I think you do the intro video, just kind of reset things here. 2 segments, then we'll hop off after what has already been a 3-hour show, a 3-hour tour, if you would. So, we'll break it all down here on today's Cowboys Report. Coming up on today's show, Chat Sports and all the hosts here did a 3-round live NFL mock draft. I made the picks for the Cowboys. We'll break them down. Teaser, round 1 and round 2 went great. I was a little bit heartbroken at the right before the pick in round 3. ESPN also did a 3-round NFL mock draft. Mel Kiper, Field Yates made all the picks. Kiper made all the selections for the Cowboys. We'll compare those 2 mock drafts. We will have more live NFL draft coverage for you right here on the channel. It'll be Cowboys live coverage of the 2025 NFL Draft. Those picks will come in faster, and we will have actual analysis of all the selections. No commercials either. So hit that sub button if you want more coverage. So the sim picks, not really sim. These are the Chat Sports host-led picks, except for ones we don't have channels for. So like the Jags pick was simmed. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Tyler Warren, Ashton Genty, Armand Membu, Mason Graham, Shadur Sanders goes 9 to the Saints, back-to-back edges, Mike Green and Jalen Walker. So for me, I am excited to get my pick of all the receivers. I took Teteroa McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona at round 1, pick number 12. For me, excluding the uniqueness of Travis Hunter, this is the best wide receiver in the NFL draft. I would not be mad if the pick was Matthew Golden or Will Johnson or whatever, but I just want to get an actual legitimate number 2 wide receiver. I don't feel the need to try to overthink, well, who might be a 2% better fit? Give me the better player, and that's McMillan. He offers unique movement ability after the catch at his size. Normally these 6'4", 215-pound wide receivers, they don't move the way after the catch that McMillan does. That is what I like most about his game. He's got great catch radius. He can be the red zone threat. He slots in very well as that X receiver who can also do slot stuff when you want to put Lamb on the outside. There is some reminiscence, some similarities of T. Higgins for me to his game. So the Kiper Yates 3-round mock draft picks. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, the same. Mason Graham goes 5. Ashton Genty, Armand Membu, Jalen Walker, Shadur Sanders, Tyler Warren. Almost the same picks in the first 11, except Kelvin Banks is the selection at number 11. Now, in the past, Kiper has consistently mocked Marion Hampton here. He did not do that this time. Instead, he took Matthew Golden, the wide receiver out of Texas. Both Kiper and I taking the first receiver off the board. He went Golden. I went with McMillan instead. We will break down the Golden side, if that were the pick here, by the Dallas Cowboys in just a second here, as he offers more speed. But who do you want to draft in round 1? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Who do you want to see the Cowboys take? It is the pinned comments on today's show. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Here's what Mel wrote. I thought about North Carolina running back Marion Hampton, but the possibility of Golden's 4.29 speed and great route running opposite CeeDee Lamb just makes too much sense. The Cowboys can finally get some reliability at wide receiver too, at quarterback for Dak Prescott. They haven't had two receivers over 700 yards since CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper both did it back in 2021. Now, Golden's production is not nearly as good as Tetairoa McMillan's. He had under 1,000 yards in 16 games this past year. But he offers, I think the best trait is his route running. It's not the 4.29 speed, it's how good of a route runner he is. If you crave separation above all else, I think you can make a legitimate argument for taking Matthew Golden over Tetairoa McMillan. He's not as big. He checks in at 5'11" at the NFL Combine was his was his weigh-in size there, excuse me. But I would also not be mad at the Matthew Golden pick. Now, in round 2, I actually had planned going in to not take a running back at 44. I didn't think Travion Henderson was going to be there for me. And I wanted to see how the sim played out, or how the picks all played out, if I didn't take Henderson. I wanted to see what happened, who was there for me in round 3. But Henderson was there. 4 other backs before him. Caleb Johnson went to the Browns at the top of round 2. And then on top of that, somehow, some way, Quinshon Judkins went before Henderson. So I'm going to take my number 3 back. This was just the value for me. This was too good of a player to pass up. Explosive running ability, average 7 yards per carry, big play threat, offers pass catching ability, great pass blocker. He'll probably never be a 250 carry workhorse guy. Maybe you could try it, but I would want to keep him fresh. That's okay. It's 2025. There aren't that many of those guys who handle that level of workload anymore. That explosive playability for me made it too good to pass up. Because I think in real life, when we get to the real draft in April, and again, or I guess in a week, and again, maybe I'm wrong, it wouldn't be the first time, I don't think he's there. The Mel Kiper pick here at round 2, 44, was Savone Revel, the cornerback out of ECU. This one, I think, might actually end up being the pick. This would not surprise me at all. He's an extremely talented player, but he is coming off an ACL tear. This is the Blue Star Special in round 2. We'll break this one down in just a second, but today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time makes it faster and easier to get tickets for even those hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer you get to tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. You can get up to 60% off when you buy these last tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and everything else in between. Zone deals help you save even more. You pick the section, Game Time lets you pick the seats in the process. The Game Time guarantee is this. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, all guaranteed. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Here's the pitch from Mel. Dallas has injury concerns at cornerback with Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland. And yes, Ravel's zone, he's coming off a torn ACL, but he's big and long and he makes plays on the ball. Revel would give the Cowboys another option on a pass defense that must improve. I am a huge fan of his game. Had he been fully healthy, had he played the way that he flashed earlier this year and was expected to play this upcoming season, I think he would have been a first-round pick. I think he is a plus athlete overall. Obviously, did not get the combine testing to confirm. Length and size is super impressive. We're talking 32-plus inch arms. I like a lot of what Siobhan Ravel brings. He's an outside-only corner, but I think long-term, there's your second starter. There is a valid question of like, hey, what are you going to do short-term? Who's your other starter if Ravel isn't healthy for week 1? So I took a corner or a back in round 2, which I didn't really, to be quite honest, I didn't plan on doing, but that's how the board fell. I had to adjust on the fly. What round do you think the Cowboys will end up drafting a back? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. I was heartbroken because 2 picks before me, Azareye'h Thomas, the Florida State corner, Wanye Thomas's brother, went off the board to the Jets. That one stung. So I had to pivot. The defensive tackles were gone. There was no Alfred Collins. The board was kind of thin there. I'm going to take a playmaker, and that's Noel Williams, the cornerback out of Cal. 7 interceptions this past season. Give me somebody with ball skills who I think he was mainly an outside corner at Cal. I think he does have some of the traits to try to play the nickel. I would probably keep him on the outside. It would also be a homecoming of sorts. He is from Oxnard, by the way, which would make for a fun, not that matters at all in the draft eval, fun homecoming come camp time for the Dallas Cowboys. The main concern around Noel in the combine was testing the speed. The 4.5 40 checks off that box. That's not bad at all. I think he fits his can do zone, can play man. The ball skills intrigue me. This was the best corner on the board for me in the 3rd round. Now, Mel did find a back for the Cowboys. He took Dylan Sampson in the 3rd round out of Tennessee. This one I'm also I'm very intrigued by here. Productive runner who carried the Tennessee offense this past year. He was awesome. He was productive. He is explosive. He carried the Tennessee offense this past year. He averaged almost 6 yards per carry. Would have gotten to 1,500 yards had he been able to stay healthy. I'm not mad at that one either. But my picks went like this, just to recap here. Teteroa McMillan, Travion Henderson, Noel Williams as well, the receiver, running back, corner. Mel Kiper / ESPN, same positions, different order. Matthew Golden, Savone Revel out of ECU, and Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee. So of those 2 mock drafts, and then we'll check back in briefly here on the Dylan Sampson side. Whose mock do you prefer? I actually don't mind either of them. I would be pretty happy with any of those 2 scenarios. Who do you think did it better, though? No, I don't think there's really a wrong answer, frankly. TD for me, MK for Mel Kiper. Mel on the Sampson pick. Cowboys focused on their needs early, but get their running back. And Sampson has good upside. Ran for almost 1,500 yards and 22 touchdowns this past year. That is what he ran. 70 forced missed tackles. The testing was good. A 4.429 40 at his pro day. He's not that big. He's barely 5'8", 200 pounds as well. He is the single season record rushing holder for the Tennessee Volunteers, and the offense missed him badly against Ohio State. He did lose 4 fumbles this year. Wasn't overly involved in the pass-catching game. No special teams value. The Tennessee offense is kind of fake, but he does offer some intrigue there. So grade my mock draft, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. A, B, C, D, or F. And then we will get set up here for the other news that has gone down today. Just been one of those days where the Cowboys just do not help me out with their timing of signings and stuff. We'll break down the Hakeem Adeniji signing in a little bit. Grade it for me, A, B, C, D, or F. Again, I think if both of those drafts actually happened in real life, I would be pretty happy, all things considered. I'd be like, cool, I got good value there. That matters to me. So I see B, C plus, A, B. It's fine. Sometimes it's never good enough. There's even been times no one in the comments has done this, but I've seen people I do a similar mock draft and the Cowboys do a similar mock draft, but then the grades change overall. Once the Cowboys picks come in, I've seen that before. This pick was the same. But now your grades are way higher. Interesting. The Cooper fam says he take Higgins in the 2nd. He went in the 1st, which is not what I had expected at all. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That works for me. Daniel, would you trade down a few spots in round 3 knowing Collins could go off the board early? In that scenario, that as it kind of played out, I would have loved to have traded down because I had a bunch of corners all with similar grades, I would have loved to move down. There were no trade down options, so I literally could not do it. I just don't know if that's how it's going to play out. And, I'm probably only getting like another 5th rounder, and at that point I don't need a 5th rounder. Can I package 2 5s to go get a 4? Like, that's kind of how I'd be playing it out in my head. So grade the mock draft for me, A, B, C, D, or F. Then to some news today on the Dallas Cowboys. Before we get into today's show, as part of our live show, this is the news cut out of it, we are in a like battle against the Raiders Report. We trail by almost 7,000 likes. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and help us out. We get more free Cowboys videos out that way. More likes, more views, more subscribers, more everything here on the Cowboys Report. Let's just reset because we have misspelled signing in that one. So and I also did a terrible job on the like read. So we're going to do it again. We'll do it again. Did not go well for me. That's okay. Let's see. I see. Andres says Goldman next best receiver. If Golden and Barron aren't there, okay. A lot of people just listen to top receivers. That's fun for me. I like that. I think that's entertaining. I think that's fun. So sorry for the reset there, folks. We just didn't do great jobs there. Signing all fixed. All right, take 2, and this time I will use my words better to say things that I'm trying to say in the end. You guys are watching the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. We are in a like battle this month against the Raiders Report. Raiders are number 1 among the Chat Sports channels. We are number 2, but we are down by 7,000. Almost 7,000. Let's gain some ground. Like the video. Free, simple, easy. Please and thank you. Now, originally, we were going to discuss the workout of Hakeem Adeniji, the former Kansas guard. That changed like 5 minutes before we began today's live show of the Chat Sports Mock Draft. The Cowboys actually signed Hakeem Adeniji after his workout on Wednesday. 6'4", 315 is the listed size out of Kansas. He has started games in the NFL, but he did not play in 2024. He missed time with a knee injury. The last time he really played a bunch of snaps was back in 2022. He's played sparingly, or I should say played sparingly in 2023. In 2022, 4 sacks, a hit, 18 hurries, a sub 59 run block grade, 58.9, 3 penalties in 418 snaps, and I don't think he's that good. And I think that the contract, we don't have any contract details yet, it's going to reflect that. It's going to be 1 year. It'll be next to no guaranteed money, if any. It'll be just like the Sadiq Charles contract, which, crazily enough, as we sit here a week after, actually finally have the contract details here, finally, from over the cap on Sadiq Charles. 1 year, vet minimum, 0 guaranteed money. I would bet the exact same thing happens with Hakeem Adeniji. 1 year, no guaranteed money, probably is unlikely to make the Cowboys roster. Adeniji was a draft pick in the 6th round out of Kansas to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Vikings had him in 2023. Browns had him this past year before he got hurt and missed the entirety of the season. What is noteworthy for Adeniji is he has played a lot of different spots over the course of his NFL career. He has played guard. He has played tackle. He hasn't technically, as unusual as it might be, played a lot of left guard or center. It's been mostly right guard / right tackle. He played more right tackle for the Bengals, by the way, in 2022. It was 777 snaps at right guard for Hakeem Adeniji. Also played a bunch of tight end snaps, which was really just he came in as a 6th offensive lineman. I have my doubts that he actually makes this team, but this is another depth signing, which I find kind of curious for the Dallas Cowboys. Give me your one-word reaction to the Hakeem Adeniji signing for the Dallas Cowboys. It is the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. One-word reaction to the Hakeem Adeniji signing. Mine is interesting, and depth, I think, is a good one, and cut is probably going to be another one there. I am almost surprised to see the Cowboys add another offensive lineman. They got 15 now. Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Brock Hoffman, Terrence Steele. A lot of competition coming at right guard. Adeniji could be a right guard competition piece there with TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman and maybe Robert Jones and Sadiq Charles. And you could try Nathan Thomas over there. Jack Anderson might end up getting cut post-draft at this point, like with just the sheer numbers game. There's 15 offensive linemen on this team right now. Adeniji, maybe I should put him at right tackle instead of left tackle, but like the math is not mathing. There's too many right guard options to fit the three on the depth chart. I could see this Cowboys team viewing him as a tackle or a guard, or both. He's played almost 50% at the tackle spots versus the right guard spot. But now the Cowboys are in this kind of unique spot. They are very light on roster spots. They have 10 draft picks coming up. They're down to like 4, maybe it's 5, I'm pretty sure it's 4, open roster spots beyond those 10 draft picks. You know, maybe this team is extremely committed to giving the QB battle a fair run with like competent offensive linemen when they play the second and third stringers. Like, it's not terrible out there, but there's not many roster spots left for undrafted free agent competition, which means they're going to go very light with that, or they're going to cut some players after this year's NFL draft. Now, today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier, even for hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, and views from your seat, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets for your next big event. Peep this for Game Time, folks. You can get up to 60% off last-minute tickets for both sports, but also concerts and comedy, theater, everything else in between by using the Game Time app. The Game Time guarantee is this. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time is going to credit you 110% of the difference. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, ChatSports, for $20 off your first purchase. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show, but go download Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. I want to discuss Mazi Smith here too. I have seen some articles questioning the future here of Mazi Smith and what that looks like, so I wanted to discuss it because I've kind of seen at times it framed as like, you got to have a nose guard draft pick or play Mazi, and that's actually not the case. It's both. Now, Mazi last year, specifically against the run, I thought we saw more growth. As a pass rusher, not really there. Wasn't always what was asked of him, by the way, out of this defense, but I do want to acknowledge that. I think it'd be kind of wrong not to, more or less. I thought we saw more flashes out of Mazi Smith last year than what we saw in his first year, which, again, the bar is very low. Even with those flashes, you need more. We all know that. He has to take a sizable step forward in his junior year. This in many ways, is a make-or-break season for Mazi Smith. If it doesn't clip into place in year 3, is it ever going to click into place? I have question marks there. So what is your confidence level in Mazi Smith? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. I want to make this clear. I am not out on Mazi Smith. The confidence is lower, make no mistake about it. I don't know how it couldn't be. But I think it's way too early to completely write him off entirely. I don't think that's fair to anybody involved. I also believe this to be 100% accurate. If this Cowboys team is serious, they have to add another nose guard. And I'm not talking about we added a player in August. You need a real piece who can not just play snaps, but be better, potentially at least, than Mazi Smith. To not do so, organizational malpractice. You have Oso Odighizuwa, Solomon Thomas. Those guys can handle the majority of your 3 technique reps, if not all of them. Justin Rogers hasn't played in the NFL. Preseason does not count. 7th-round pick, practice squatter, back to the Cowboys, didn't play for Dallas. You need to add a real, actual, at least rotation piece here. You cannot wait until August again and be like, shoot, we have nobody, where we all knew there was nobody else on this team that was going to be good enough. I'm not doing the Jordan Phillips, Linval Joseph, sign random old people move. Let's not. Let's get real talent in here. And there will be options in this year's draft. There will be players who can try to add and take and gamble on and add help up front. Day 2, Patrick Williams in the second round, Alfred Collins, fingers crossed in the third. Those guys can help stop your run. Day 3, Deion Walker. I think some good nose guards on maybe one of these guys gets in the 5th, if not multiple. CJ West, Jordan Phillips, because I might go in the 4th, same with Jamari Caldwell. Boy, I wish I had a 4th rounder to get one of those nose guards, don't I? Vernon Broughton, Cam Horsley, the actually good Florida defensive tackle, and Cam Jackson, Jay Tuya. Those guys, or Jay Toya, those guys can stop the run. I can get one of them, I think, with my 5th round pick. It's not sexy as like Alfred Collins, Tyreek Williams, but I can get help up front. We've got to cover with all of the latest Dallas Cowboys news and rumors as we get rapidly closer to the NFL draft. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. I want to wrap up with some undrafted free agency talk. The Cowboys have shown at least some interest in some potential undrafted free agent QBs, including Touchdown Tommy Mellott, the quarterback out of Montana. His production this past year, intriguing. 67.8%, a little under 3,000 yards, 31 touchdowns against 2 interceptions. And oh, by the way, he ran for 2,000 plus yards twice in his career at Montana. He is the Walter Payton Award winner for this. That's the FCS Heisman. This was one of the best college players in the FCS level who was very impressive. The Cowboys, we'll get into, worked him out kind of privately on the side. There's one big question mark with him, though. Looked at some other names here to watch as well. But will the Cowboys add an undrafted free agent QB to be their QB4? They might not, but I think it's possible. A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know in the comments of today's show. 4 names I'd watch post-draft beyond Touchdown Tommy. Seth Hennigan out of Memphis. Graham Mertz, who the QB coach went to watch at his pro day. Chandler Rogers, Braden Schrager. Everyone but Mertz was a Dallas Day guy. So those guys, Mertz, Hennigan might get drafted. Rogers, Schrager are not going to. The thing with Touchdown Tommy is he might actually end up being a wide receiver with what he's tested, what he was able to do in college. He's actually more athletic, explosive testing-wise, like speed-wise, than Julian Edelman was. Not that dissimilar from like Josh Cribbs, if you're looking for a better Kent State receiver, QB turned receiver. Tom Pelissero had the news a couple days ago saying, or Montana State, I think I misspoke and said Montana earlier. Montana State for Touchdown Tommy. Visited the Bengals today after a workout last week for the Cowboys. He also did receiver and punt returner drills at his pro day. The testing here for Touchdown Tommy. See all that green on the relative athletic score? That's a good thing. He actually tested better, which, again, the bad QBs don't test, so kind of asterisk it. It's a 9.68 athletic score as a wide receiver. Let that sink in. 41-inch vert. Turns out white men can jump. 4.39 40. That's pro day testing. It's a little bit deceptive at times. Outside chance he gets drafted this year. And I don't know to the Cowboys, but as a UDFA and that quarterback turned receiver, kind of intrigued by it. All right, we will sign off here on today's NFL coverage. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. YouTube.com/CowboysTV was a 3.5 almost live stream. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. Apologies for the Cowboys' garbage tier timing with the signing of Hakeem Adeniji, and we're kind of getting screwed on that one. Full video will be up on the channel in a little bit. Make sure you guys are subscribed. More live shows on Monday, and of course for the entirety of this year's NFL Draft.